All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Twidwell, here inside the Starcade Media Studios with my guy, Trevor Twidwell.
What's good?
Episode 285 is in full swing, full motion. We're so happy to be here with you and for you to be here with us. Whether you are live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this time as we have an awesome show for you guys. It is almost officially a full month into the NFL calendar year. I cannot believe that's actually a thing, man. We're actually already almost through the first month of the NFL season. It feels like it literally just got going. We're really excited, though, to talk about the way things are going, whether we expected things to go the way it's going right now in the NFL, in Kansas City as a whole. Whatever the case may be, we're here to unpack it all. We're here to talk about it all. And we hope that you guys want to join us today because we want to talk with you. We want to have a conversation. That is what we do here at The Spoken. That is why it's called The Spoken, where everyone has a voice, everyone has a platform to be able to speak their minds, their hearts, their whatever it is that's on your minds, whatever's on your heart. You guys get it out here, and we talk about it in the world of sports, man. It is all sports all the time. We tell you guys at the top of every single show, and I'm going to tell you at the bottom of every single show as well, so be prepared to hear it again today if you stay in tuned with us on this lovely Saturday. We're almost in the spooky season of October, our favorite time of the year. Trevor and I and the kids are all stoked to have the decorations out and everything. My nephew Jack is all in love with all the new stuff he got, and he's been having a blast. It's just fun to watch our childhood now being their childhood and kind of watch that as we get a transition to being the adults, watching my niece and nephew get to enjoy these times. I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. But like I said, if you guys have not already done it, go to our YouTube channel, go to the Spoken Podcast if you've not already found it, and hit like, subscribe, share, notify, all that stuff. We very much appreciate every single one of you guys that does that. But we want you guys also to get into the live chat because if you don't know, we have a segment every single show right in the heart of our show called Speak It, where we give you the platform, the opportunity to get all your questions, comments, takes, concerns, whatever you guys have for us on the show, and we react to it. Now, we do react a lot of times to takes and comments throughout the show, but if you have a specific question that you have that hasn't already been, addressed or spoke on the show, go ahead and drop that on the live chat, guys. We very much appreciate it. We love the fact that there's people that are having conversations on the side in our chat as well with each other. A lot of people have met each other through our chat that they wouldn't have otherwise even knew each other existed. So it's really cool.
Some people found love. Some, you know what I mean? Some people found hate.
Some people found hate.
Some people found hate.
And those people disappeared once they, were requested their Venmo, and for whatever reason they're no longer here either. What do we know, Aaron
Black
Butler?
T-shirt guy.
But here we are, and we're having a fun time because, like I said, that's what we're here to do. Otherwise, why would we waste your Saturday? You're going to be hanging with us. We might as well have a good time. Trev, how was your soon-to-be October Saturday? How's your week been previous, man? How are things going for you, man?
Man, it's been a nice week. It's been a busy week, obviously, for me, but the weather's changing. It's getting nicer outside. It's topping out at around 80, 78 degrees. So this is the best time of year, for not only for sports, but just for my sanity. Working a lot, but it's good, man. I always look forward to chopping it up on Saturdays, and me and the kids played hooky yesterday. I was home from work, and I let them stay home from school with me, and I spent some time with them. Took them out to do some stuff, and definitely needed that. It was a nice, refreshing day to do that with the kiddos, and now I'm looking forward to talking some football, man, and preparing for this big rivalry divisional game with the Chargers. So ready to talk some football, man.
All good things, man, and yeah, we'll definitely be unpacking this Chiefs-Chargers game momentarily. And like I said, we have Speak that we'll be getting to. Obviously, we'll be handing out L's at the end of the show. If you guys have L's, throw them our way, and we'll give them out for you guys as well. You make sure and put them in the chat. Whoever you think deserves an L in the world of sports this week, you guys let them have it. We'll let them have it. That's what we do here every single week to top the show off. But Trev, we've been doing this thing, man. And first of all, I want to shout out to Dustin Norton. He's already in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. I know that Ruben DeCruz, I believe, is in there as well. Shout out to both those guys. There are regulars that are always here early. There are early birds. We appreciate when they're in here.
Front row seats, everyone.
I'm sure James T. Kirk and Lonnie Pyramid and Bumpa BB and all those guys will be here. Julia Gooley. We got a lot of great regulars, man. We appreciate when all you guys jump in. So go ahead and jump in the chat now, guys. Let's get this party started. Because I want to recap a little bit about Week 3, Trev. And yes, we should probably start with the Chiefs. Because I think that's the game that everyone cares about the most, even though there were some pretty insane games, and give all respect to our Trevor and I are big Matt Stafford fans, and see the Rams come back from that deficit and beat the 49ers the way they did. That was nothing short of incredible. That's a season changer, maybe a season saver for the Rams, and that could be something that could really creep up on the 49ers later in the year, because now, at this time, the Rams do own the tiebreaker with them as far as the head-to-heads.
Especially with Juwan Jennings having that breakout game and a massive performance all for nothing.
Yeah, there were some upsets, like I said. There were some ugly games like the Eagles and the Falcons, and just games like that just didn't feel right. I think it was Eagles and Falcons.
No, Eagles and Saints.
I apologize. Eagles and Saints. Eagles and Falcons was the week before.
Yeah.
So Chiefs had the Falcons, and that's actually where we should probably start, because I'm already mentioning the Falcons as it is.
Right.
Trevor and I came into this game feeling very confident the Chiefs are going to win this one, even though we have an immense amount of respect for Kirk Cousins, Raheem Morris, Bijan Robinson, that good defense led by Justin Simmons.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we have a lot of respect for these guys, because I feel they're a good team. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're going to win their division. I had them at 11-6. I think getting the 3 seed in the NFC. So I have high hopes for this Falcons team, and I felt like that win the previous week against the Eagles was something that could really ignite something in this Falcons team and give them hope to face the team like the Chiefs. And then we heard coming into this week that the Falcons looked at this game as like their Super Bowl, basically, like seemingly every other team does when the Chiefs come into town.
Oh yeah, it's almost like we're the team to beat in the AFC.
and we heard stories that reporters saying that the Falcons were looking like this was the biggest game they had in over 7 years. So we knew that the A game or something close to that was going to come from the Falcons in this one, well, at least an A effort. They were going to go out there and do their best to beat a team like the Chiefs, because that's a big thing for all teams. NFC, AFC, doesn't matter. But I still felt coming into that matchup that the Chiefs were going to be the team that were going to come out, and I felt like they were going to put up some points. I felt like, the saying I keep using, Trevor, is, meat left on the bone. I keep saying that. And I feel like this is that game where the Chiefs are going to have a clean bone. They're going to make sure and leave nothing left on the table, nothing left desired. They were going to go out there and they were going to score points and win definitively. I really did believe that.
Yeah.
And as we know, the Chiefs, in Chiefs fashion, won a game the very opposite of that, and won in very nail-biting fashion. Now, we can reminisce on how the game went and what happened. We can talk about calls and how, farcical it is to sit here and talk about how the refs, decided that game. We know how ridiculous that is. We broke this down on Arrowhead Allies on Tuesday about how 3 of the last 4 penalties in the game were against the Chiefs, and only one of them actually even made sense. The 2 calls that were on the Chiefs were absolutely ridiculous on Trent McDuffie, and I believe the other one was on Shamari Connor. Absolutely absurd penalties. The one on Chris Jones, the roughing the passer, absolutely absurd
Crazy,
penalty.
while he's getting hands in the face.
Exactly. And just falling to the side, and Kirk falls with him. It's just absolutely absurd stuff. But we digress on that. I don't really want to focus on the refs today. I feel like we've talked about that ad nauseum here and every single other show that you find on YouTube,
not just
Facebook.
Us. Everybody's been talking about it enough for us. So,
yes. Yeah. It's just getting so ridiculous that I'm tired of talking about it. The Chiefs, the fact is, Trevor, the Chiefs have won now 9 straight games, postseason included, from last year. They've won 9 straight games, and they've won by a combined margin of 54 points. Now, if you know anything about that, that means that is the lowest margin of victory that any team that's had a 9-game winning streak in the history of the NFL has ever had. So this means the Chiefs have been consistently winning nail-biting games. Now, you can look at this two different ways, and I choose to, because I think there's always positive and negatives to pretty much anything in life. In sports especially. When it comes to the positive sides of this, you could say, well, the Chiefs keep finding ways to win these types of games. These are the type of games you're going to be having in the postseason, like the Chiefs had the year this last year, in 2022, 2021. They seem to always have these nail-biting victories more times than not in the postseason, because it's the postseason. It's, sudden death. It's, win or go home. It's the best teams versus the best teams. The best 14 teams in the NFL go to the next round. Excuse me. And so you can give the Chiefs a lot of credit and say, well, they just keep finding ways to win these games. And a lot of times they're playing either postseason teams in postseason games or teams that are going to probably make the postseason this year. So you can give them that credit and you can say that's a positive. On the negative side, though, this is something that I do worry about when it comes to this team because of how limited they are at the skill positions right now, that if you can't find ways to have a significant victory here or there, that to me can be something that if everything doesn't go your way or you don't have a game that you're as sharp defensively, or let's say your coaches make some pretty critical mistakes, which do happen even with the best of the coaching staffs out there. Every coaching staff has a down day. That's going to lead to maybe a significant loss. And that's something you have to take very seriously. And that's why I love, and not to overwhelm the positive sides of this, Trevor, but I have to say it, that's why I love what I heard from this team after this victory. You didn't hear Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid and all the other guys that talked, even throughout this week leading into this Chargers matchup, talking about, well, we won, so a W's a W. No. What we heard from them is, we're not playing good football. We can play better. We need to play better, and we will play better. That's what they're focusing on. Because if we look at this team, Trevor, we know that over the last eight plus years, no team in the NFL has won more games than the Chiefs. Right. In the Andy Reid era, no other team has won more games, especially over these last 6 years. So we know that winning, and I hate to say this, and I said this on Arrowhead Alleys this week as well, winning has become an assumption here. If your star players are healthy and Andy Reid's coaching this team, you're winning 10-plus games. It's just going to happen. The Chiefs have won at least 11 games every year since 2014.
It don't matter who the quarterback is, too. He's saying the same thing with Alex Smith.
Right.
I mean,
So winning regular season games, I hate to say this because I don't want to water down the regular season or make it seem like it's less than.
Yeah.
But this team just wins games in the regular season. What they're focusing on
it's dress rehearsal, man.
is they know, Trevor, their mentality is we know that we're playing a 20 to 21 game schedule every year. Every single year in the Mahomes era. Because that's literally what they've done every single year of Mahomes' career. They've played at least 20 games. 19 in the 2018 season because they didn't have the 17-game schedule yet, and they had the first round bye. But you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah. They're playing more football than anybody else, and I'll have a stat that'll show that in a second. But they're looking at how do we build upon this? Because, yes, we did get the dub. Yes, we came out this game. Yes, it was stressful, and we got it done. But we still know that we left meat on the damn bone. It wasn't because, and I all respect to the Falcons, but this game was more about what the Chiefs didn't do than what the Falcons actually did. This game didn't feel like, man, the Falcons really brought it to the Chiefs. Bijan Robinson was completely shut down, and he might be the best running back in football. Outside of one big play, Kyle Pitts didn't do anything. Drake London, I think, had like 60 yards.
Outside of a couple of big plays, Kyle Pitts hasn't done anything this whole year.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, these are the guys that we were looking towards to make some big plays for the Falcons, and the Chiefs' defense absolutely stifled them. Kirk Cousins didn't even have that good of a game. He had a decent game, but my point is that this was the Chiefs' game to break off. Carson Steele was getting over 5 yards a carry. He's leading the league in success. You told me this stat. He's leading the league in success rate or win rate.
He led the league, and Carson Steele led the league last week in running back win success rate.
Yes, he's leading the league for the season right now because of his short amount of time he's played.
Yeah, he has never had a negative run.
It's insane. Yeah, so what I'm saying is all these things that we're looking at, we're sitting here saying, then why was it that damn close? And it's simple, Trevor.
Yeah.
Mental mistakes.
In the red zone.
Yes.
In the red zone, man. We tighten up for some fucking reason. I don't know. Just put the ball in Pat's hands or give the ball to Carson Steele. It was simple.
And I get it. Justin Simmons plays Patrick
Except
very
we
well.
spread Patrick out wide and have him running in motion.
Yeah.
Like, why, bro? No one is going to believe you're going to throw Pat the ball.
Oh, yeah, we can address that one first.
You're not going to have Pat test them. We can
do that first. That's fine. I want to go there because we can cook on that for a second. Yeah. I wanted to start with Patrick's interception, but I actually want to go with that. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Either one. Let's go.
Because, to your point, Trevor, the Chiefs are moving the damn ball up and down the field. The Chiefs had like 400 yards of offense in this game, right? They were moving the ball in this game.
Yeah.
Balanced attack. Carson Steele's running the ball really well, better than I expect. You said, he's going to run the ball well tonight.
Our offense looked good.
We'll see. She's moving the ball. Rashee Rice just terminating these dudes. Just absolutely said Akana. He was just terminating these dudes.
3 straight weeks he's been doing that, bro.
Yes.
Rashee Rice is for real.
And so you're like, oh my God, Chiefs are going to score 35 tonight. Like the way they're moving this ball, they're going to score 35. It felt like one of those nights. And then I don't know what it is about Andy Reid. Maybe it's because he's so smart that he does dumb shit because he's so smart. Does that make sense?
Galaxy, he's galaxy braining.
Yeah, you know those people, Trevor, that are so insanely intelligent that they have no common sense.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
We can run it 2 straight times and just score here.
I mean, you're running the ball the whole way.
We got a 245-pound fullback and could just pound this shit in. Oh,
yeah. Let's put Patrick Mahomes in motion and have a direct snap to your rookie running back because they'll never know what's coming after that. It's such like you said, galaxy brain shit. That's like simplify it. When you run the simple concepts, they work. I used this last year, the analogy of, the classics. You have a woman coming over to your house and you're trying to impress her. Sure, you can put on some trap music, you can put on some new stuff, Schoolboy Q, whatever you want to play, or you can throw on some Marvin Gaye.
Some Van Draws.
Some Van Draws, some James Brown. Some Loretta. You can put some stuff on that that's been lasting the test of time.
Yeah.
That's been around for the decades.
The classics.
Why don't you do that in football, Andy Reid? I love that dude. There's not another guy in this world I'd rather have coaching this team. You know that. But sometimes, Andy, you got to play the classics, bruh. Sometimes you just got to run a power. Sometimes you just got to have Patrick under center. Out 80, and then turn around and hand it off to Carson Steele. Sometimes you got to just do the boring shit. Yeah. You don't got to get cute every fucking time. Because if we're being honest here, Trevor, the cute shit's got the Chiefs in trouble far more in the red zone than it's actually helped.
Oh yeah, and what's crazy is I think most defenses we face are more prepared for us to do the non-traditional thing in the red zone than the traditional thing in the red zone. So if you just do the traditional thing in the red zone, it's probably going to work more than it's not for us. Mathematically, because teams are expecting us to do some funky shit when we get down there, bro, between the 5 and the end zone. So to me, it just makes more sense for us to kind of go back to being more boring in the red zone instead of trying to do all these things. I mean, unless we're going to use and the funny thing is, like, even in that possession with when we should have scored there and a touchdown instead of settling for a field goal on the 5-yard line, we tried that. We tried getting Patrick Mahomes in motion, which was just, numbskull decision, in my opinion. We didn't even try to get, Xavier Worthy end round or jet sweep or something like that. We didn't use the speed. We put Pat in motion and had direct snap to Carson Steele. Why don't you just get right up to the line of scrimmage and then power over that shit with Carson Steele? Put Chris Jones as your fullback behind Carson Steele or in front of him, have him lead the way, and just punch that shit in. If you do that twice, there's no defensive line that's stopping that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I always throw out the Chris Jones fullback thing because I just want to see that so bad. I just want to see Chris Jones out there leading the way for a running back. But yeah, man, I'm with you, dude. I don't understand. I was very puzzled by that and settling for field goals. Granted, we've been winning a lot of games like that recently, a lot of ugly ways, and Bucker is as good as it gets and is as reliable as it gets. Even though he did miss an extra point, which was wild to see.
Weird.
The dude can go hit a 60-yarder, but
he'd have covered the spread too, by the way, if they'd have done that. Well, my spread, because I
your
teased him at
spread,
5.5.
you teased it, yeah, sorry. But still, yeah, man. I mean, I like how Andy Reid put the way he described Carson Steele when he said he gives you an honest down.
Yeah.
Give him an honest touchdown. You know what I mean? We needed a yard or two. Like the dude's gonna get it. Now we have Kareem Hunt in the mix. Same thing with that guy. Both those guys should score this week. You know what I mean? So if we're on between the 1s and 2s, there's no reason we're not giving it to those. Or just let Patrick Mahomes do his thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Snap it in ISO or snap it in shotgun and let Patrick find somebody, find KELCE, find Rasheed. One of those guys is going to break open, bro. Or Noah Gray, the guy that we just extended. You know what I mean? So we're paying guys to do their job. Let's give them the ball. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, there's just a lot of things. The offense, honestly, was very promising in this game, though. I liked what I saw, like you said, between the 20s. Bro, we were moving the ball at ease, and that was a good defense. One of the best DB rooms in the league. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a good defensive line, even though Judon got banged up. A couple guys got banged up in their defensive line in that game, but I thought our offense was humming, man. We were looking really good.
Well, and I want to add this because we saw in the chat, and I'm glad that somebody brought this up. I'm going to give credit. And first of all, Tony Russell, shout out to you, bro. You said what up, fellas. Our guy, Michael Maldonado.
Yep.
He brought up this is what I agree on and what I want to add to this point because I'm going to add to the next problem I had with the Chiefs offense in this game because I'll be real with you. I didn't really have any problems with the Chiefs defense. I'm just going to be honest.
How about that Nick Bolton game, baby?
Nick was an absolute animal. Chris Jones was
Nailed
phenomenal.
That shit.
George Karlaftis looked better. Guys were just in the backfield all night.
FAU made a play.
Yeah, FAU made an incredible play.
Yep.
I loved it. I love seeing that.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought the secondary was incredible. I thought everybody played well for the most part. I'm going to give just the defense like a solid A. Yep. But I want to focus more on the offense because this is where we are still concerned for the second straight year. Michael Moronono says this. He goes, Chiefs were playing how the Patriots during the Brady era, where it's not bombs away, but putting, long drives, and dinking and dunking passes. Mahomes will take shots downfield if he needs to. That's all true.
Yeah,
I agree with what Mike's saying here. But, Mike, you got to hear me out here, and everybody else hear me out on this. That's not what I have a problem with. I am 100% okay with that, because we know as teams evolve and mature and grow together, other teams are going to figure out. We know the league is going to figure you out a little bit, and you have to play chess. You have to stay one step ahead. So we know that the conservative style of football is naturally going to play its way into the Mahomes era. We knew that. But we also know that Patrick Mahomes is still going to play the way Patrick Mahomes likes to play, and he likes to throw the ball downfield, which is where we want him to continue to stay and reside, and picking and choosing his spots, like you said. The problem is this game, in a prime example of what I'm talking about with Patrick, is that we're seeing this season in particular, where it's almost like Patrick has changed his mind from last season of, there's just no way I'm going to throw this ball deep to this guy because he's just not going to get it, to now it's like, well, I'm just going to make sure he gets it. And now he's just throwing the ball right to defenders down the field, and it's driving me insane. We saw in the Bengals game, Patrick in a clean pocket throws it right to a linebacker, right to him, and it's 15 yards downfield. Then we see in this game, now granted, I know that there was oncoming pressure. Carson missed the chip. He went to the right as opposed to the left, but Patrick still had time in the pocket and just flutter balls one to Noah Gray, and Justin Simmons is reading it the whole time. It just goes up there. It looks like pitch and catch.
Yeah.
It looked like he was throwing it to Justin.
Well, and you say we've won 9 straight games this way, but at the same time, Pat doesn't look comfortable playing football this way either, though. So I think Andy is, especially with the league taking the too high safety approach and really just trying to, tamper those, take away most of those big plays on most occasions, unless you're Andy Dalton, you just figure out a way to just go out there and just look like you're 21 years old again. That's not going to last, but I mean, there's certain we've seen Stroud's had to kind of take that approach this year. Their offense has not had big plays really outside of a couple broken coverage plays, but a lot of offenses. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff can't get any big plays really downfield going. A lot of these defenses are adapting, man, and it's been a challenge. But at the same time, I think this is good overall for the offense, though, because I think the offense is going to grow, because this is teaching Pat new things. It's teaching him, because Pat's always been that wild stallion type of quarterback. He's always been that backyard football. Just being able to see things before they happen, and having that mind meld with KELCE, and that's been taken away from defenses. They've been doubling and triple teaming KELCE, which is obviously producing Rashee Rice right before our eyes as a star in this league. But I think this is a great thing, honestly, though. I think our offense is going to figure it out. We're going to be able to take more shots, especially if we run the ball more efficiently with Carson Steele and bringing in Kareem Hunt now. Teams are going to have to bring more guys up front and try to stop the run if we're running efficiently like we did last week, and that continues to get better. Things will open up downfield, but at the same thing, I think this is tough. It's been tough for Patrick Mahomes to play this kind of Alex Smithian type of offense. But it is translating. I mean, like you said, 9 straight wins going back to the postseason. That's translating to win. We just won a Super Bowl that way.
Right.
So it's going to win us games, but at the same time, it is nice, and we will see it from time to time. Not yet. I don't know when, but there's going to be some games throughout this year, and hopefully in the playoffs when we're making a run, where Patrick Mahomes is going to remind everybody what he's capable of and what this offense is capable of, and especially if Xavier Worthy is continuing to grow and become something to be that downfield threat. And if we get a Hollywood Brown back towards the end of the year or in the postseason, that's going to add another element to this offense. Yeah, it is boring, man, as a Chiefs fan to kind of take away that element that we've always kind of had since Pat's been here. But it is translating to wins, and as a team, I think, and as a fan base, I think we need to acknowledge that and kind of get used to it for now. But things are always going to change, and this game is very fluid. So,
well, and we know there's a transition going on because when Patrick lost Tyreek, he didn't miss a step.
Yeah.
In fact, he had one of his best seasons of his career that very next season. So we know it's not because of the Jimmies and Joes,
right?
At least in 2022 and 2024. 2023, it clearly was, because guys just could not catch the ball. That was their problem. This year, I don't think that's the same problem. I don't think the Chiefs have a bunch of guys out there can't catch passes.
And the fact that he's now the back-to-back years is having the best defenses he's ever had.
Yes, and
that matters a lot.
Rashee Rice is becoming one of the best receivers in the league.
Yes,
you're seeing that as well. So that's also an uptick. But you draft Xavier Worthy in the first round, and I'm not going to be critical of Xavier Worthy yet, because
let the kid grow. Man.
Yes, he's a rookie. He's not even a month into his NFL career, so I'm going to give him a pass.
Especially
what I am going to say,
him having as big a week one as he did.
Right, but what I am going to say is, unless you are banking on blown coverage, Xavier Worthy really hasn't done much this season.
Sure.
And again, I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the way the coaching staff has used him so far.
I think he could have had a big play last week, though, if he didn't miscommunicate with Pat.
Yeah, and that's possible.
That could have been a big
I
play.
think there was also we showed the film on Tuesday on Arrowhead Allies, and we talked about it as well. It looked like Xavier Worthy did the right thing based on the formation.
Yeah.
But the Falcons read it really well because they ran that same formation against the Bengals on the opposite side, and I think the Falcons knew it was coming, so they played tighter bunch, and it made him and Rashee a little bit tighter together. So it made Xavier, it threw them both off.
Yeah.
But no, I don't like the way the team's utilizing Xavier Worthy right now because what was everybody's defense, Trevor, when I was having my concerns about Xavier Worthy initially? No, this guy's a ball tracker. He's downfield threat. He's all these things. I'm not seeing that enough from the Chiefs. I don't see them running a bunch of routes yet.
We're not giving him a lot of chances
Yeah.
yet. Well, I don't think the Chiefs expected to utilize him as much this early.
Yeah, sure.
Hollywood was supposed to be that role. You know what I mean? And this offense would have been that much better with a guy that's experienced like Hollywood. So I think, just allow Xavier. He's a young kid, man. Allow him to grow. He has so much potential and upside. I think after like week 6, 7, 8. We're going to start seeing some big plays for this kid, and I think he's really going to be involved, especially like in like those bubbles. Get him a bubble screen or give him an in-route jet sweep stuff. I think the kid's going to really eat.
Well, and Tony Russell says the same thing in the chat. He said, "I'd rather see jet sweeps than all these bubble screens. You beat pressure with quick slants, drag routes, and screens, in my opinion." But that's the thing is the Chiefs used a bunch of that in this game.
They did.
And that's why they were moving the ball. Rashee got the ball out quick to Rashee Rice, moving the ball. That's his strength, is yak yards. Like this offense is really good at getting yak yards. That's what it's built upon, if we're being honest here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that we're not seeing that enough, because in my opinion, Andy Reid does those things very well. Like I said, the concern I have is when they get within the 20-yard line, it's like they just go ape shit with their brain. They just their brains get fried. And they overthink everything once they hit the 20-yard mark. I don't understand why that is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, Trevor, right now, and I wish I had the graphic to show everybody, but you can either trust me on it or you go see it for yourself. Red zone offense so far, the Chiefs are 21st in the league this year in red zone efficiency. They're only scoring touchdowns. They're 21st ranked in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Last season, as bad as they were offensively, they were 19th. So technically, right now, they're worse in the red zone than they were last season. Yeah. That is a problem. Now, I do agree with our guy Noah John Marshall. They are down their running back 1, left tackle 1, and arguably wide receiver 1 and 2. They're doing fine. I'm not disagreeing with that. I know the imbalances the Chiefs are taking on right now. I get it. And the Chiefs are one of 4 teams in the entire league to at least score 21 points on all 3 games so far.
Yeah.
They're one of the 4 teams, so I don't want to sound overly critical.
Well, and scoring and passing numbers across the league are all down.
Right, but
so this is not, the Chiefs are not not falling victim to some strange
but I tend to not resent that, but I tend to maybe it's because I have an arrogance about this team now because of how successful the team is, Patrick Mahomes is.
Yeah.
When we heard this last year because it was the same thing last year. I said, well, the Chiefs hold themselves to a higher standard because they're not like the rest of the league. Because not every team has Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So I don't, when I hear that, which is true, it's like, yeah, that might be true, but not every team has anything close to what the Chiefs have.
It does feel a lot of the ways, a lot of the game so far. It feels like the Chiefs are just playing that steady Eddie kind of game, allowing the defense to really do their thing, and allow Spags to cook, which he's been doing. My God, Spags has been great this year so far. Seeing the growth of Jamari Conner getting better every week too, making plays. But I think the Chiefs are letting teams kind of beat themselves. In a lot of ways, it's what it really feels like, and the Chiefs are just kind of taking advantage of every moment they can. Granted, Pat's had way too many turnovers so far, so it feels like we're kind of he's kind of sabotaging that system right now. But at the same time, it does feel like the Chiefs are kind of just playing, humble, vanilla offensive plays for the most part, and allowing teams to kind of really just allow the other teams to kind of put more of the pressure on themselves, because every team. This is their biggest game of the season when they play the Chiefs. Any team that faces us, this is their biggest game. And it worked against the Ravens. The Ravens kind of beat themselves in a lot of ways too. and the Bengals as well. There was that was a close game. And those two teams the pressure kind of got to them. So I think the Chiefs are kind of understanding that every team that faces us, they play us a little differently. And they're a little more tight. They don't want to make mistakes, or they want to go for it on the fourth that they never really would. And they make a mistake there because there's a lot of pressure on that fourth down. These teams wouldn't do that against anybody else. So I at the same time, though, man, I think there is validity to the fact that the passing numbers are down across the league, and a lot of these high-scoring offensive last year are, even the Bills, Josh Allen's numbers are down this year compared to, they're changed up their offense according to what these defenses are doing. So there is truth to that. But at the same time, we have speed on this offense. I think they're going to figure it out. They're going to start beating the too high. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback we've ever seen. He's going to figure it out. Andy Reid's going to start drawing up stuff. I think Xavier Worthy is going to unlock some things in this offense as he grows as a weapon, as a deep threat, as a field stretcher, to create more plays downfield for this offense.
I do want to give credit because I want to talk about the defense briefly, and then I got a couple more things I want to talk about the offense, and we got a couple topics outside of the Chiefs to discuss. Our guy from Red Drip Cinema, Clay Windler, also our producer here, he had a tweet earlier this week that was awesome, and I added to it. He said, "No one will admit it, but Spags is getting close to Bill Belichick levels of greatness as a defensive coach. This is starting to feel like Bill Walsh hired Belichick to coach San Francisco's defense, and somehow San Francisco traded for Reggie White. The Chiefs were absolutely not supposed to be this good on defense in 2024, but here we are." And I went and looked. You guys know me; I'm a stat guy. So when Trevor said it made me think about this when he said that it feels like the Chiefs, aka Spags, is almost letting teams kind of beat themselves or expose things, show their hand a little bit.
Yep.
I think that's 100% accurate because this season it shows. So Chiefs defense points allowed by halves, first and second, through 3 games. In the first halves, the Chiefs have given up 40 points. In the second halves, 22.
Yeah, Spags adjustments are maybe second to none.
So he's clearly, and I'm not saying I enjoy watching it because I hate the fact that in all 3 games, the opponent's first drive, they've scored 2 touchdowns and then one field goal. But it almost does feel like Spags is like, all right, let's see what they got on the scripted drive. Let's see what they're trying to do early, and then we're going to go ahead and just shut that shit down. Because that's exactly what they did in all 3 games. As you saw as the second halves came about, the Chiefs came out with something completely different or masked things, and all of a sudden it looked like the offense couldn't move the ball. And that's credit to Steve Spagnuolo's brilliance by, like you said, picking up on things and he's seeing early. Because you even saw in this Falcons game, as soon as he saw that Nick Bolton made the play on Bijan Robinson at the end of the game, he's looking up the clock and you read his mouth, he goes, how many timeouts do they have left? He's already strategizing for a next possible drive. He's already looking at if the Chiefs offense can't move the ball, and let's say by some strange imagination, they can't, the Falcons get the ball again, he's already figured out, okay, how do I defend a team that's got 2 timeouts, got 1 timeout, 3 timeouts, no timeouts? Like, you can see that the wheels are still turning. Spags has still got it, man. He's got it at such a high level. It's stupid, man. So wanted to give that brief, those flowers out there briefly, but I also want to address Trevor because we talk about Xavier Worthy. We talk about, just letting him grow, but the Chiefs are going to need him because even Patrick said in training camp, he goes, oh, no, we're expecting him day 1 to be a role.
Yeah.
There's all this talk, outside of the refs, the second most talked about point with the Chiefs, maybe even the NFL, is Travis Kelce. And, we're going to talk about him in a minute when it comes to this Chargers matchup. But I got to be honest with you guys. I understand the numbers are insanely low. But we, and I say this with all sincerity, we have got to stop with this conversation about Patrick Mahomes or about Travis Kelce being washed.
Yeah.
Guys, it is so simple to see that he's not. Even though the numbers, again, I get it. The numbers don't look good. In fact, the numbers look really bad. But if you're watching the games, I heard my guy Colin Cowherd, who I love. I've been listening to Colin for 15 years, since my senior year of high school. I heard him use a blatant lie this week when he said, if you watch the tape on Travis Kelce, you can see that he's slow and isn't creating separation. Do you guys know that right now Travis Kelce's in the top 3 in the NFL in separation yards per play? Travis Kelce is still elite.
As far as the man that's guarding him,
yes,
straight up.
The initial
he's getting doubled.
He's getting doubled plenty, but I'm saying when he gets to a point of attack and gets open, he's open more than almost any player in the league this year. And I went back and looked some all 22 stuff, Trevor, because we have buddies in the business and we get to get stuff sent to me. So I requested a couple videos and I wanted to post it on here, but for whatever reason we're not uploading. But I saw at least 15 plays over the last 2 games. 15.
Yeah.
Where Travis Kelce could have had a 30, 40-yard catch.
There's some plays where Pat straight up missed him. He's wide open. Yeah.
There's been at least 3 plays this season where he had an open touchdown.
Well, he had the 40-plus yard play that was called back on penalty. Yeah.
If you're watching with your eyes and ignoring the numbers right now, guys, because I get it, they're not there right now. But if you're watching the man just out there running his drills, running his routes, he's still got it. And the biggest thing also, guys, is if he didn't, and it's so crazy Andy Reid said this in his last press conference because it's exactly what I was saying all week long, Trevor, even on Arrowhead Allies. I said, if Travis Kelce is washed, why are defenses still playing with him as if he's not? If he was washed, NFL defenses would go, well, Rashee Rice is murdering us. Why don't we go ahead and double team his ass?
Yeah.
Because we can put one man on Travis. He's washed. There ain't no way he's getting open. But he's the one still getting double teamed. Rashee Rice is out here leading the league in receptions and yards after catch, and Travis Kelce's the one getting double teamed. Why is that? You think a washed player is the one getting double teamed? You got a superstar wide receiver to the left of him? No way in hell. And the other thing, Trevor, is, again, if he is washed, how is he getting open despite the fact that he's getting double teamed? That's the emphasis in this whole conversation. So what it is, and this is exactly what I said from the beginning of the year, Travis Kelce is going to be eased into this season. He's in shape. They got to keep him in shape. So he's going to keep running his routes, playing his snaps, staying healthy. And then when it really matters, they need him to be the dude, he's going to rise to the occasion because the ball's going to be there. And just like he's been open the whole time, the only difference is the ball's going to start going his direction. And it's a beautiful day. It's actually a blessing in disguise, Trevor, because of the fact that we're sitting here criticizing the offense, but let's be real. You're getting more and more chemistry built between Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice, Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, Patrick Mahomes, Noah Gray, Patrick Mahomes and Kareem Hunt soon to be because they'll pick it up again, Patrick Mahomes and whoever else you want to name, because the GOAT-to-GO connection's already there between him and Kelce. Right. That isn't going anywhere. That's riding a bicycle shit right there. Meld, yeah, they know how to work together better than any duo I've ever seen.
That's coming along with Rashee, too. It looks like the same type of connection.
And you're seeing Rashee running those routes that Travis used to.
It does look like a passing of the torch, though, because I think they knew the defenses were going to try to take away Kelce, and they have, for the most part. I mean, Kelce's been getting open on the initial defender that's on him, whether it's a safety or a linebacker. He's always going to get open, but there's always help. Defender, they're always having a safety over the top or behind him to kind of bracket Kelce. He's been getting bracketed every week.
Well, let me ask you real quick, Trevor. What would you rather have? Travis Kelce still having to be the vocal point of the offense every week through their 17-game schedule, or your 24-year-old phenom wide receiver?
Who might be the best after the catch in the entire league? He might be the best receiver after the catch in the league.
In 2 weeks, Travis Kelce's going to be 35 years old. Trevor, you're 34, I'm 36.
Right.
Could you imagine trying to carry an offense for 17 weeks in the NFL? After 11 years of playing in the league?
I just missed work yesterday because I tweaked my knee. So no, I couldn't imagine trying to be an NFL tight end right now.
I was sawing logs on the couch last night. We were watching the new Grotesquerie show. So trust me when I say, I couldn't do it, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, Kelce's fine, bro. Like, and honestly, I love that this is like the topic. I love that this is like everyone's like second guessing, even though he just had the best postseason of his career last year. I love that this is the topic and this is like the focus because one, it's going to allow Rashee to keep eating if defenses want to keep doing this. Like Patrick Mahomes said, Rashee's just going to end up with 2,000 yards. That's cool with me. That's fine. Or teams are going to start kind of maybe trying to double team or focus more on Rashee because it's obviously he's the better athlete after the catch and he's going to be more of a threat, honestly, to score than Kelce is at this point of his career. So I think there's going to be some the opportunities for Kelce to start opening up a little bit. And look, man, they're intentionally kind of going away. Our offense is essentially kind of going away from Kelce right now.
Yeah.
He's had opportunity. Like I said, he's had a couple big plays that were called back for penalty. Otherwise, his numbers would look a little different. We'd feel a little easier about it. But at the same time, listen, man, it's week 4.
Yeah.
Everyone's panicking already. And the Chiefs are 3-0. And we're thinking Travis Kelce's washed. Wait till you find out that he's not.
Yeah.
And we're 4-0.
Trevor,
you know that the league's fucked, bro.
I'm putting this on film. Drag me if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be. I guarantee you there will be at least 3 to 4 games this season, the regular season, where Travis Kelce has 7+ catches for 80+ yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's going to happen.
It's just, I think people need to realize what they're talking about. We're 3-0 against the Falcons, Ravens, and the Bengals, and Travis Kelce has done jack shit yet.
Right.
Think about that for a second. That's the angle we as fans let the national media say whatever they want and try to make this into something that it's not because we know what it is here. Wait till Kelce starts getting his game going.
Right.
Wait till the defenses start having to play Rashee Rice a little more attention and Kelce's breaking open, especially in the red zone. Things like that. Wait till Kelce starts coming alive and reminding everybody who he is, the best tight end in football, the best tight end of all time. and we're facing much lesser opponents, and we're, who knows, undefeated at that point. I mean, we really need to kind of just reel it back in a little bit. I'm talking to Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
Like I said, the talking heads outside of the bubble here can say whatever they want. They don't know.
Right.
Kelsey's fine. Kelsey's going to start balling this as the season progresses. Please, just take it easy.
And I'm going to give it another slice of real hope and happiness to fans out there that are like Trevor and I right now, that are frustrated with the offense and how they're playing right now. The thing that gives me extreme solace is not just what Trevor just said about how Travis Kelce's going to become Travis Kelce very soon. He's always been there. It's just like I said, they're easing him, his older version of himself, into the season.
Patrick's taking what he's getting. He's taking what he's getting right now.
It's not just that. It's not just the development of Carson Steele that looks very promising. It's not just the fact that Rashee Rice is quickly becoming a top 10 receiver in this league. It's not just the fact that, yes, this offense has enough right now to start scoring points, and they still are I think they're, sixth in the league in scoring right now? It's not just that. Guys, we do know that at some point, whether it's the postseason or the very end of the season, Hollywood Brown is going to play for this team. He's already on his show talking about, I'm going to play this year. It's going to happen. Not just that, though. We are going to see Isaiah Pacheco back in this lineup. He has a 6 to 8 week injury right now. Trevor did suffer this injury himself years ago, and it was a struggle to get back. But Isaiah Pacheco has already shown that he will be back by late November, early December, based upon the time scale. So there's 2 studs this offense is going to get back, along with the development of some of these younger guys that are playing their way right now. Oh, and did I mention the defense that we all love and adore is about to get one of their baddest motherfuckers back in Charles Omenihu. Do y'all forget about him? I didn't. That dude is one of the best pass rushers on this team. And he's going to be back soon. So this team is about to get much, much more improved on both sides of the ball. And like Trevor just said, they're 3-0 right now, and it's not like the Chiefs have had the Bills schedule. They've actually had some tough opposition. They've actually had to face really good quarterbacks to this point. So, I look, we can criticize them, and trust me, I just spent 20 minutes doing so. But we also have to put it into context. And that's what we're trying to do, is ease some of the burden, ease some of the concerns, because we want this 3-beat more than anybody. We want to see this team do it, and I think the best way of doing that is just by simply staying healthy and getting some things right down the road. Because like I said, this team looks at every season as, guys, we're playing at least 19, 20 games this year. So let's ease our way into this season. It's not fun.
And we're 3-0 in the 3 of the hardest games of our season that we're looking at. When we were looking for this before when the schedule came out, starting the season off with these 3 teams was like, damn, we're probably going to drop at least one of these.
Right.
One of these we're probably going to lose. And we're 3-0, man. I mean, outside of the Niners and the Texans and, one of those 2 teams that might be a tougher opponent, other than that, like, the rest of the schedule is mostly divisional games and teams that we've won against.
If I would have told you, Trevor, the first 3 games of this season, Patrick Mahomes has 5 touchdowns and 4 picks, you'd say, oh, they're 2-1.
Especially against those teams.
Yeah, they're 2-1.
Yeah.
If I told you that Patrick is struggling the way he is right now.
We lost to the Bengals again by 3. Fuck. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they're 2-1.
Yeah.
If I would have told you that. But they prevailed.
Yeah.
They've exceeded my expectations.
Kelsey hasn't done anything yet. Kelsey hasn't even showed up yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, use that as a positive, not a negative.
Right.
This is only a positive thing for me, man.
Now, I do want to transition a little bit here, guys, to another conversation that has nothing to do really with the Chiefs. More so with the team that was supposed to be a lot like the Chiefs this year, a team that's going to contend with them. The people call them the real rival of Patrick Mahomes. That is the Cincinnati Bengals. As we know, the Cincinnati Bengals moved to 0-3, losing another home game, this time to a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, who for the second straight week did not punt. Jaden Daniels went absolutely off in this game, had one of the best throws I've ever seen a rookie throw in my life.
Finally got McLaurin going.
My God, absolute dime, and he took an absolute hit on that 3rd down. But I want to talk about something because it's all about standards here. So, we look at Joe Burrow and look at the way he's playing, and outside of that first game, he's actually played really well. And you're like, man, poor Joe. This is clearly not his fault. Well, I'm here to let you guys know that it's the actual opposite. This is 100%, or at least a lot of percent, of Joe Burrow's fault. And here's the biggest reason why. Trevor, go ahead, if you could, play the video of Mr. Joe Burrow telling us why.
Windows my whole career, and everybody that we have in that locker room, all the coaches we have, things are going to change year to year, but our window's always open.
Hey, I didn't say it. I'm not the one that put those words in Joe Burrow's mouth. You heard him say it himself. He said, the window is my career. Basically, as long as I'm healthy and out there on the football field, we're contenders. In other words, Joe Burrow is putting on his own shoulders. So with the praise and glory this man gets for, riding high on that meltdown of the Chiefs by going to the Super Bowl because of that fact, more so than what his own performance was. And my God, like my guy Kevin Wild said on First Things First this week, he's been getting a lot of mileage on that Super Bowl trip because people are still using that as like this reason why you got to fear this dude. You also got to give him the criticism and the blame as well that comes with being 0-3. And mark my words, guys, the Bengals season is 100% over. I don't care if they beat the Panthers this week, which, by the way, they may not. I'm not giving I'm not giving that team a benefit of the doubt. They've lost 2 home games to the Patriots and Commanders. So I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt at all. They very well could lose this game because it's the Andy Dalton game as well to mark it all up.
Right, it's a revenge game.
It's a revenge game, and it's on the road. It could be one of those nasty games they go 0-4.
The Bengals should win this game, though.
The point I'm trying to make, Trevor, is that yes, Joe Burrow statistically is playing good football.
Yes,
there's no doubt about it.
Looked good,
but see, what I'm not going to allow is the double standard that exists, where it's only Patrick Mahomes that we hold this against if the team struggle. We see people to this day using that Super Bowl 55 game against the Buccaneers against Patrick Mahomes, as if there was no context to what happened. But see, nobody talks about that. They don't want to say, well, Patrick Mahomes failed. Patrick Mahomes couldn't get in the end zone. He choked in that game. He sucked. Okay, then how about we keep the same standard then? Because I remember, same thing with Justin Herbert. The moment he came on the field, everybody started calling him a superstar quarterback. Trevor, what did I keep saying? He's not a superstar quarterback. He's a superstar talent. That shit's got to be earned.
Yeah.
And to me, in my personal opinion, this is a reflection of Joe Burrow being crowned way too freaking early. This is happening across the league, where things that Patrick Mahomes is doing, other guys are getting credited for, or at least they're getting on the coattails of what he's doing, and they all get dragged with him, where they're all in the same tier with him. How is that possible when Joe Burrow hasn't done a single thing?
Well, look at all the things
Patrick's accomplished.
Look at all the early praise that Caleb Williams was getting, and look at the way he's been. I mean,
right.
None of these guys are built to come in the league and take the league by storm like that. Patrick Mahomes is just different. Granted, he took a year off, but we're trying to make a Patrick Mahomes situation out of all these guys who just kind of come into the league and take the league by storm. And that's just it's not as easy as it looked for Patrick Mahomes, guys.
This one's even more controversial, Trevor, because this is a guy that actually is balling and I do believe is an elite quarterback, and it's Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. But see, we're seeing Josh Allen and the Bills right now putting up high scoring numbers, looking fun, looking cool, kicking the shit out of bad teams. Once again, another September championship for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, if you can go ahead and put that graphic up, Trevor, from FanDuel Sportsbook on Twitter this week. Name a quarterback in the NFL better than Josh Allen. You can't. Quarterback one. They're already putting stuff like this out here. We saw...
Yeah, he's already getting the MVP votes and all that stuff.
We're not even in October. Leaves aren't even falling off our trees yet.
This is what they do. They always start hot, just like the Bengals always start slow.
And then you see Kurt Warner show the next graphic, Trevor, because it's Dan Orlovsky talking about we need something about Patrick Mahomes being the best player in the NFL. He has been. And then Kurt Warner says this, but is he playing like the best quarterback in the league? Why does it matter? Why do we sit here, Trevor, and do this every single year? Where these guys, because I don't remember, Trevor, you and I grew up together, man. We watched football just as much as anybody else out there. Do you ever remember them doing this to Tom Brady or Peyton Manning every month? Where it was like, Trevor, that John Kitna had a good 3 weeks. He's the best quarterback in the league right now.
It's the social social media age, man.
It is.
Everyone has a voice. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they get, they can make some kind of, just take that thing. They think that it has some kind of, respect to it just because they think that some guy has better stats and that makes them the better quarterback. It's just
Orlovsky was on first take.
Contrarian takes.
He's on first take, and he does a top 5 quarterbacks right now list. And he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes on it.
I mean,
it's all screen grabs. It's all for reaction. because they can't actually believe these things.
Right.
We do this every damn year, and this is what I'm talking about, Trevor. I'm sick and tired of seeing guys that have never accomplished a single thing close to what Patrick Mahomes does get the praise for having a good September. How many great Septembers did Patrick Mahomes have, Trevor, in the first 3-4 years of his career? He went like, 13, 14 straight September games without an interception? We didn't hear people say, well, he's the best quarterback right now because of September. No, he had to earn that, Trevor, in years he had already won the Super Bowl. You remember when he won his second Super Bowl, people were still crowning Josh Allen as the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
When Patrick Mahomes already beat him multiple times in the postseason. When he goes and gets multiple Super Bowl MVPs, multiple MVPs in the regular season, and we still have people talking about Josh Allen. It is not that I despise Josh Allen or despise Joe Burrow. I like all these guys. They make the league better.
Yeah, Josh Allen's a great person, a great player.
But we're sitting here, Trevor, again, go look at the schedule the Bills have had so far and look at the Chiefs.
Right.
My God, dude.
I mean, they got the Ravens this week, bro. This is a prove it game right now.
At Baltimore.
I can't wait to watch that.
At Baltimore.
Yeah.
At Houston. At New York Jets. 3 straight games on the road for the Bills. This will be the now. If Josh Allen goes out there and balls out for the next 3 weeks and wins all 3 games, he is the MVP.
Well, I mean,
then we can start having that conversation.
Well, and if Lamar wins, Lamar better be getting called the best QB in football, right? Because he just beat the best QB in football. I mean, he's going to be the MVP again, for a week. This is how it goes, bro. Everyone's a slave to the moment. Meanwhile, Pat's not playing his best game. Here we are undefeated, going in to face a beat up Chargers team. We'll probably win. Obviously, we're going to win whether they're healthy or not. But it is exhausting, bro. And I try to really block out a lot of that noise, in my opinion. Just the every week there's a new guy. How many times have we tried to do this since Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, bro? It's they've won It's the LeBron effect. We've talked about it on the show many times. Everyone's trying to dethrone LeBron for years and years, and he ends up being the guy. He's either in the finals or is working on a team to get this a lackluster roster to a finals with the hurt teammate or something. He's carrying something, and he's playing the best basketball of his life still in his late 30s, early 40s, and people are just looking for reason to discredit it. And that's what they do with Patrick Mahomes already, and he's only 29 years old. And yeah, here we are. Well, undefeated.
If you look at it, so right now, Trevor, the Bills, they played one good offense, and it was the
Cardinals
week 1.
And a windy game.
Cardinals put up 28 points on the road in that game and should have won that game, quite frankly.
Yeah.
If you look at the rest of their schedule, would you look at that, Trevor? They played the 30th and the 32nd ranked offenses, and the Miami Dolphins and the
without Tua half of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So you have these as the 3 offenses they faced. You probably should win those games. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville's looking like the worst team of football right now.
Right. They've been an
awful.
abject failure.
It's crazy.
And so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to put this shit into context here, Trevor, because I think that people are overlooking the fact that the Chiefs, meanwhile, have taken on, if we look right here, the 11th. Let's see. Yeah, so the Ravens are the 11th ranked offense.
And the defenses we're going against too.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Yeah, so the offense the Chiefs have faced, though, the 11th, the 13th, and where is the
Bengals?
No, the Falcons.
The Falcons.
Atlanta.
Their offense hasn't been lighting it up, but I mean, still that roster and that
they're actually bad. They're 28th.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't been putting up a lot of points. Their best game was probably against the Eagles. Obviously, that walk-off game was insane, but that we're gonna look back on that Falcons team because I think they're gonna be a lot better as the year goes on. I think that's gonna be a good team as the year goes on. They're just continually getting better. But yeah, I mean, it's not even a question with the competition that we face compared to the Bills, bro. It's not even close.
But you're seeing like Pro Football Talk knock, and I hate power rankings, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
I see the Pro Football Talk knock the Chiefs down a peg and put the Bills at top.
Sure.
I'm like, so we're going off style points.
Yeah.
This is what we do every game.
You're not going off
man.
strength of schedule.
No.
Definitely not going off strength of schedule. And listen, man, the Bills always have cool points. They always earn the cool points through the year. Josh Allen makes some cool highlight plays. He's getting MVP chance. He's getting the MVP chance and all that already. And listen, man, they front run. This is what they do. Every year they'll blow out the teams that are bad on their schedule, and they just happen to have 3 outside of week 1. I mean, I think the Cardinals are good, but I don't think the Cardinals are that great of a team. That defense isn't that great. But Kyler's been awesome. They got one of the best young receivers in football in the draft, in Marvin Harrison Jr. James Conner's having a good year. But other than that, there was a really windy game. It played into the favor of the Bills even more so because they're a run-heavy offense. The Cardinals are not. So And that was a close game. That game could have went either way.
Well,
And
there's a pass interference no call at the end of the game too. They should have put the Cardinals on like the 3-yard line.
Right. So I mean, the refs in their favor. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I guess games are rigged, guys.
You know, I mean, the refs cheated for the Washington Commanders too last week. You know, with that no call on T. Higgins and that 2-point conversion against the Bengals. Yeah. It's weird how that works. No one talks about every other game other than ours. But But yeah, man. Listen. All respect to the Bills. I mean, they're taking care of they're playing the cards that they're dealt. Right, and the hand that they're dealt, they're destroying the opponents that they should be destroying. So good to them.
Yeah.
I wish the Chiefs would do that more often. I hope the Chiefs do that this week. That'd be fun to win a game.
Already had their test
by 30. Yeah.
Now it's the Bills' turn to have their test the next 3 weeks. And the Nick Wright, our guy Nick Wright, made one of the best takes I think I've heard in a while about this situation, this topic yesterday on his show. First Things First, he goes, Joe Burrow gets more credit for beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, and Josh Allen gets more credit for almost beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs than Matthew Stafford gets for winning that Super Bowl.
Man.
Like, no one ever talks about Matt Stafford winning that Super Bowl and how great he was that year. But everyone talks about, well, Joe Burrow, at one time he allowed the Chiefs to melt down in the AFC Championship and let him have that win. Oh, and Josh Allen plays well in games, but can't seem to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs ever. Wow. So let's give them credit.
And I don't understand why. What happened? Where's the praise for Jared Goff? He made a Super Bowl once.
He made multiple Super Bowls.
You know what I mean? So where's Jared Goff's praise? Why is he one of the best quarterbacks in football?
Right.
You know what I mean? He was Mahomes was in the league at the time.
Yeah, man.
What's going on with Jared Goff? Where's my guys' love? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with that? Yeah, I mean, it's all narrative, bro. It's all personal bias. It's narrative. It's exhaustive. It's exhaustion from Patrick Mahomes. People are exhausted by it. People are exhausted by, the Swiftie stuff, the Travis Kelce super success between the Kelce brothers. Dude, people hate who are at the top because they want what they don't have.
Well, and Bumpa BB, Trevor, he says the Bengals will figure it out. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. They'll go 10-7, make the playoffs. Bumpa, they have already had the easiest schedule. And they're 0-3. They've played one good team so far. One. Like, I know the Commanders are 2-1, but let's be real, man.
The Commanders are a team that's probably maybe on the rise.
They're on the rise.
Yeah.
But they're a year away.
You just went and got outdueled by a rookie quarterback, bro.
Yeah. Like, they didn't punt on primetime in Cincy.
Yeah.
You had Jacoby Brissett go in their house on home opener and win. This is not a good team.
That's crazy.
I said on Arrowhead Allies again, Solomon Wilcots, former Bengal, former CBS analyst, on-air analyst, I told him to his face, this team has bad vibes, man. I don't like this team this year. And he's like, oh, I can tell I'm talking to a fan and not a former player. And you know what? Have at it, man. Roast me, say whatever you got to say. But I was right. I said exactly what I saw. And now, Trevor, guess what the circulation are out there in the national media is about the Bengals? Well, this team's got bad vibes. Hello, welcome to the party.
The whole off season, bro.
So I understand what people are saying. Oh, they'll bounce back. They'll win. Like
the Steelers are
10
3.
Next
the Steelers are 3-0. They're 0-3. The Ravens own them. They're done, bro.
The Browns own them.
The Browns own them. Like, what you think they're going to go undefeated in the rest of this division? Get lost, bro. They're done. You cannot start 0-3 in that division.
Especially
when the Steelers, who were supposed to be the worst team in that division, are 3-0.
They haven't even played a divisional game yet.
You're done, bro.
Like,
You're done.
Even if they were to go 4-2 in the divisional games, which they won't.
Right.
But let's say they did. That's still 2 more losses, which would give them 5 right now.
Bro.
So what are they going to go? They're going to have 2 more losses for the rest of the season outside divisional games? Give me a break.
They're going to go blow out the Panthers because the Panthers' defense does suck. And if the Panthers aren't able to put up points, they're going to blow out the Panthers. Everyone's going to be back on the train for the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins trio train again. And here we go. And then they're going to go get beat by the Browns, probably go 1-1 against the Ravens. Maybe 1-1 against the Steelers.
That's what I'm saying.
The Steelers defense might be the best defense in the league.
Yes, dude.
And Justin Fields is just doing just enough to be a competent starter with in that offense. So I mean, listen, man. And I'm not even trying to just hate on the Bengals. It is what it is. They're giving us this material to talk about, and congratulations.
Because you don't think flip it, Trevor. Let's say the Chiefs are 0-3 right now. With that schedule, the Chiefs would be getting cooked. They would deserve it.
Yeah.
They would deserve it, especially if Patrick Mahomes would come out there and say the same thing as Joe Burrow said about the windows as long as my career. Okay, well then this is on you then, bro. That's how the rules work. You don't get special treatment in the praise for Patrick melting down in the AFC Championship, but then not get criticism when you melt down during the regular season. That's not how it works. I see. I want to throw this out here. Lonnie is in the chat. Shout out to Lonnie. Said hope all is well. Hope as well to you as well, brother. Ruben DeCruz Lance is cooking. Damn right I'm cooking. I'm over here cooking some shit too, man. It's smelling good over here. That smells good. Yeah, James T. Kirk. Solomon Wilcox sounded salty. Lance was being respectful towards Solomon, but so far he's right. Hey, man, look, I was an honored and privileged to talk to Solomon Wilcox. All respect due, man. Like, I have nothing but respect for the man. But I had to tell him as it is, bro. And I don't, candy coat shit when I'm talking to these. We just talked to Lorenzo Neal on Arrowhead Allies, and I called out the Chargers right to his face.
Yeah.
We got to have a real conversation about these things, man. I don't want to sit here and go, Solomon, it's really nice to talk to you. Are the Bengals gonna get better, or don't hit me? No, we gotta have a real conversation here, man, because these are real problems these teams are facing. And when you're paying a quarterback like you're paying Joe Burrow, and you're sitting here letting Jamar Chase not get paid, and T. Higgins is about on his way out, telling fans literally to sit him in fantasy because he's not gonna put up numbers. These are real problems. There's bad vibes. Zach Taylor out there just on a plank, not knowing what to say and how to defend his team to the media, like. Joe Burrow and him having immediate after-game meetings privately. Like, there are some bad vibes on this team. We're just addressing it. We're not talking shit. We're sitting here addressing the problems, man. Just like we got done addressing the Chiefs' problems. I'm going to address the Bills' problems. The Bills have real problems. Their defense is absolutely banged up. And unless they run the ball with success, I don't like their offense. Because everything is predicated on what James Cook can do. Everyone's talking about how Josh Allen's the MVP right now. And Josh Allen is having an incredible season. He is balling out. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league. But unless James Cook goes off, what does their offense do? Because everything is based on that pass play action game and Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid getting out on the flats, things like that. Yeah. That's the only way their offense is going to work, guys. So watch these next 3 games, Sherwin. The Ravens, Texans, and Jets. Take James Cook out of the game. Sure, what is their offense going to be?
Yeah, I mean, granted, like 5 guys on their team scored last week, and that was just a blow-up front-running kind of game because it felt like the Jags just laid down after they were just
they
down
suck
20-plus points at that point. But, yeah, man, I mean, this we all know. I mean, y'all must be new here. A lot of these people that are talking like this because we do so much changes during the duration of the season, right? Injuries happen, things happen, teams get figured out. Josh Allen could have one of those Josh Allen just massive blow-up games where he just, in a negative way, where he has 4 or 5 turnovers. Those happen. Joe Burrow's had those games. Yeah. Joe Burrow's had that 4 or 5 interception game was against the Steelers. You know what I mean? So Joe Burrow can still have, he's got a lot, he's been good so far, and they've still been losing. Wait till he has bad games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just wait till Joe Burrow has those multi-pick games, and they're 1-4, 1-5. Right. Who knows, man? That division's gonna eat them up just like they normally do. And you're 0-3, bro. Like I think we talk enough about the Bengals so far, but Jesus.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I had to address it because, like I said, we're almost a month into the season. I feel like one team's not getting enough reaction for being a failure, and the other team is getting way too much praise for beating up on bad teams.
Personally, I love it. I love it because it's just this is every year. This happens every year. The Chiefs got to continue to do this every year, and yeah, I mean, let somebody else have the attention. Let somebody else have the pressure on them as they're being anointed the new team or the new quarterback of the year. That takes more pressure off us. We can just continue to rack up wins, be boring if you want to say it. Fine, Kelsey's washed. Fine. Oh shit, here's Kelsey in the postseason putting up 103 touchdowns.
Last I checked,
God damn it.
Last I checked, the most boring team of all time in NBA history won 5 titles in the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
Let's transition to this week's matchup. Chiefs Chargers. We usually get pretty excited about this matchup because we know that of all the teams in the division, the Chargers are the team that probably give the Chiefs the most fits, I would say. I think it's fair to say just because of the fact they have a very capable quarterback in Justin Herbert, a very talented quarterback in Justin Herbert.
They've had good defenses over the years.
And Jim Harbaugh, now that he's there, you give them a lot more respect just from the fact they're going to be ran properly.
J.K. Dobbins been one of the best running backs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I say that literally and figuratively because we know that Jim Harbaugh loves running the ball. His OC, Greg Roman, former Ravens with John Harbaugh, they love to run the ball. Yeah. And there was no mystery to that because he did that in Michigan. He did that in San Francisco. This is just the way Jim Harbaugh likes playing football. But I'm going to be honest with you, Trev. If we could, let's go ahead and just let's start from the very top, the injury report. Let's just look at this, guys, because would you look at it? There's a real problem here, and it's obvious. We've heard about it all week, and this is something that I feel like the Chargers deal with every single year. A plethora of injuries. And it's about as bad as it gets. I know it says at the top there, guys, that Joe Alt is questionable. Joe Alt is not playing in this game. It's already been confirmed he's going to miss weeks because of an MCL sprain.
Joey Bosa's going to be out.
Joey Bosa's 100% out. Derwin James obviously got suspended, rightfully so. If you watch the play, that was a dirty fucking hit.
It's just to help the Chiefs, though. Remember that.
Clearly, because the Chiefs can't, Oh, by the way, Trey, I found out Derwin James in games against the Chiefs is 2-7.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really would have been a factor.
You can look up KELCE's numbers against him too. It's pretty
kind of
fun.
cool. I got that in a second. But yeah, I mean, if you just look at the difference now, obviously the Chiefs don't have Mike Dana, which does suck. Mike Dana has 17.5 career sacks in his career, and 5 of them are against the Chargers. So about a third of his career sacks are against this team. So you'd like him out there. I do think this is a chance for FAU and some of these younger bucks. Turk Wharton, who's been awesome this season, I might add, get more opportunities to make some plays. Malik Herring, guys like that. So I think they can handle not having Mike Dana out there, but otherwise Chiefs are healthy. They're going to have Kareem Hunt active for this game. I don't know how much he'll play. Hopefully he gets some opportunities. I expect Carson Steele to still get the bulk of the carries for the foreseeable future, but I do expect Kareem to play a role in the pass game, some wheel route stuff, some dump offs, things like that. That's
Pass
where he'll
pro.
probably be utilized. Yeah,
He's great
red
at
zone
pass pro.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Red zone hopefully as well, but I do expect Carson Steele to get probably 15 to 20 touches.
He
in this
should be the
game.
lead back.
Yeah,
He
but
should be.
This injury report alone kind of just tells you the death nail on this one, and I'm not trying to sell you guys on the Chiefs blowout, but what I am saying is I think a lot of times you can look at an injury report and say, okay, look, Justin Herbert might play in this game. I don't think he should. I don't think he will ultimately.
I think he does.
I actually don't think he's going to, because if I'm the Chargers, I look at it like this. After this game, you have a bye week. You can rest Justin Herbert for 2 weeks, and then you have all these winnable games.
That's very logical of you.
Yeah, but maybe you're right.
But
they'll end up playing. But think about just how reckless it would be, Trevor. Justin Herbert, who's been banged up for 2 whole weeks
put him out
now,
there against Chris Jones and these boys
without his starting tackles, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt missing the game. You're going to put him against this defense?
I mean, if you put a Heineke out there, you're just asking for a straight up L immediately. But yeah,
if Spags in this defense, Trevor, gives up more than 17, 20 points in this game, Clark Hunt should find the entire defense. Because we know even with Justin Herbert out there, he's going to be, 50, 60% of who he normally is? He has a high ankle sprain.
Yep.
This man is hurt.
Yeah,
I thought it was dumb they put him against the
yeah,
Steelers last week. The Steelers were probably the best defense in the league, like Trevor said, and he was getting destroyed. He couldn't finish the game. So a week later, you're going to put him against this defense? Maybe the 3rd or 4th best defense in the league right now? That's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I look at this injury report, I automatically say the Chiefs are going to go 4-0. But see, now
trap game.
Let's
trap game.
Bull fucking shit. let's have a real conversation here real quick. I asked the guys on Arrowhead Allies this, and I'll ask you, Trevor, because we actually put this poll up here. So if we could go ahead and throw that poll up there, Trevor.
Gotcha.
So I asked this question on Arrowhead Allies. I put it on Twitter as well. The Chiefs averaged 25 points per game through 3 games this season. If I told you that the Chiefs score exactly 25 points versus the Chargers, how much do they win by? Trevor, this is pretty freaking shocking. Even though the Chiefs average 25 points per game, and it's more than likely the Chargers won't have their starting quarterback and multiple starters on both sides of the ball, people think the Chiefs only win by a touchdown. That should tell you something. That this team has a narrative now with their own fan base of, oh God, no matter who we're facing and who's available, it's still going to be a freaking nail biter.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. 40% of the votes said 73% of the votes said 7 or less.
Yeah, like I told you earlier this week. Yeah, man, we're gonna blow them out by 4. You know what I mean? That's the vibes right now, dude. I'll take a 4-point victory at this point, man. I mean, it was a miracle we beat the Ravens by 7.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I can lie, when I was putting some parlays together this week, I was like, Chiefs 7.5.
You want it? It's gonna happen. I mean, if it's gonna happen, if we're gonna beat a team by 10+, it's got to be this week.
Chiefs 6.5. No, I'm gonna go 4.5.
It really comes
2.5.
down to...
That's it. 2.5. Gotta give him 2.5.
I know, yeah. Just give me tease it down to
money
3.
line. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just give me money line. That's I get it, guys. And look, we can sit here and rehash on everything we've already talked about, but I'm actually going to defend the Chiefs a little bit here, and I did this on Arrowhead Allies as well.
Yeah.
Show the next graphic, if you will, Joe. This is from First Things First as well. The Chiefs have played a shit ton of games over the last 6 years. Look at this. Look at it. The Chiefs have played 120 games in 6 seasons. That's a lot of football.
Yep.
And most of those games were prime time, target on your back. You're the budding dynasty.
You're getting everybody's best.
Yeah. That's a lot of wear and tear on a team, man.
It's a ridiculous stat.
Everybody pays attention to everything you do. Everybody's studying Andy Reid's playbook, watching how he does things and formations, things like that. So if any team got figured out, if any team is watched more than anybody, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So for 120 plus games, the Chiefs have had that pressure on them. So look, man, We can sit here and talk about how the Chiefs aren't beating the shit out of teams like they should. They're leaving meat on the bone, and it's a fair thing to criticize. But at the same time, we do need to give them a little bit of a break because they have played so much more football than just about everybody else in the league, man.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about KELCE? I mean, this is another thing that leads right into the KELCE narrative of taking our time with him, not forcing him the ball. We don't need to do that right now, especially when you got Rashid developing into what he is. And I don't want to go back onto that tangent again, but like at the same time, that much tread on Travis Kelce's tires too. Let's take our time with the guy. Let him be more fresh down the stretch. Isn't that ideal as Chiefs fans? Like, everyone, I think the talking heads in the media want Travis Kelce to be washed. I think that's what they want because that would maybe equal the demise of this dynasty that it is currently right now.
Yeah.
But that's all going to fall apart when Travis Kelce starts playing on Travis Kelce and is getting the volume and down the stretch when we really actually need him. Because none of these games so far have been must-win games. I mean, it may seem like that in this early in the year, but it hasn't been that way yet. And especially with, the Ravens starting the way they did, the Bengals starting the way they are, the Bills obviously are hot, but like we all know what happens when the Bills face the Chiefs in the postseason. We all know what happens here. So, but yeah, I mean, that many games and as much as we played in just the past 3 years, man, is insane. It really, really is. Past 4 years is insane. So I mean, which is why I expect the Xavier Worthies, the more fresh bodies. Which was we were hoping the Hollywood Browns, those guys would contribute because they have much fresher legs than a lot of these guys, which is why Rashid is doing what he's doing because he's only been a part of this for, a season and a half, not even a season and a half yet. So, yeah, I mean, I'm this Chargers game should be a dub, man. It really should. And if like you talk about teasing it down to 3.5, like I said, blowing them out by 4. I mean, I just don't. We're not the Bills, man. The Bills are desperate for. To become that team. The Chiefs are that team, and we're just maintaining the crown on the top of our head.
Right.
You know what I mean? And these other teams that are, blowing other teams out and, front running bad teams. Cool, man. We don't need all that shock and awe right now. We're not that team. We're not trying to become something. We are what everyone wants to be. Right? And, we're in a whole different universe. We're in our own universe right now. Everyone's trying to, find their way into that universe, but we're doing what we need to do, man, to win games, and it is what it is.
I'm gonna cut right to the chase here, Trev, because I don't think there's a lot of climatics to this game. I think that's a word, but there's not a lot of enticing factors at play with this one. So I'm just gonna keep it raw, and then I want to get to the people here, Trev, because I feel like we've made them wait long enough. But I'm trying to. I feel like I've said it like 3 or 4 weeks in a row now, but I think it's finally going to happen. Okay, you remember last season, Trevor, when the Chiefs' offense obviously was struggling. They had that one blow-up game against the Bears early in the year when they scored 41. It was Taylor Swift's first game in Kansas City. Everyone's feeling good, and they blew out the Bears, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, the Chiefs started to shit their pants again offensively. The next 3 games, they only averaged 23 points per game. And then they came back home and played the Chargers, who were a lot healthier than they are this time around. And the Chiefs scored their second highest point total of the season against that Chargers defense and put up 31 points. Patrick Mahomes had over 400 passing yards, multiple touchdowns, and the Chiefs rolled 31-17. I have to believe this offense now is better than it was a year ago. And the biggest reason why is because I do believe that this is Rashee Rice 2.0, who's much better and much more improved. I do believe that Xavier Worthy's finally going to show what he did in week 1. I do believe that he can be a factor in this game and score a big touchdown. I think he's better than any receiver outside of Rashee Rice the Chiefs had, just from skill position, just from a skill perspective. I also think, Trevor, this is a game where the Chiefs, I think, are going to want to make a statement. Because even though the Chargers are not a really good team and they're banged up, it's a divisional game. And we know that let's be real, outside of like Bengals and Bills games, there's not really like regular season games that the Chiefs get up for, other than divisional games. We know that divisional games matter to the Chiefs.
Well, and we know the relationship between Coach Reed and the Harbaughs.
Yeah.
This feels like a game he might want to flex on Jim Harbaugh a little bit.
Yeah, because he kind of sunned them. Like he kind of raised those two guys.
Him and John always have good battles, and he likes to pull out some cool plays that he kind of saves for those kind of battles. And this feels like a game he can go flex on Jim a little bit.
And Trevor,
I'm hoping so anyways.
I know that the offense is struggling, guys, and maybe they only scored 24 points or 25 points, whatever.
Yeah.
But even if they do, I still think they win this game by multiple scores because if there was one unit in this game that I feel the best about, it's the defense, the Chiefs defense. You know why?
Because how many points do you think the Chargers actually put up?
Well,
That's the question.
let's say Justin Herbert, Rashawn Slater, and Joel were all playing. They're all healthy.
Yeah.
What is the greatest strength of the Chargers offense?
Their offensive line, running game.
Running game.
Yeah.
What is the Chiefs incredibly lead at in defense?
Stopping the run.
Stopping the run.
Like we just did to Bijan. Did he have 45 rushing yards?
Look what they did against Derrick Henry. Look what they did against Chase Brown. Not like Chase Brown's like some badass. I'm just saying, consistently, the Chiefs are showing they're going to stop your running game. So if your only strength, when healthy, is the run game, what's it going to be when you're not healthy?
And if Herbert doesn't play, that's another.
And I don't think he
nail in
does.
the coffin. Yeah.
I really don't think he does, Trevor.
I think he does,
Heineke was taking first-team reps throughout the week.
Sure.
So I think Heineke's going to get the start. And I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters who the quarterback is in this game, Trevor, because, again, they don't have the dogs on the outside to throw the ball against this defense. And, again, your offense is predicated on the run game. Great. That matches up really well with the Chiefs, doesn't it? The Chiefs, I think, are going to stop this offense, dude, from scoring more than 13 points. I'm being serious. I don't think they may not score into double digits. So even if the Chiefs were to score 24, 25 points, that's a 14, 15-point victory.
When our guy Mac 10 on YouTube, he chimes in and says, watch if they blow out the Chargers, people will be making excuses that they didn't have Derwin James, Slater, or Alt. It's true. But, man, at the same time,
sure,
we want this. We want to have a fun, just a touchdown party. We really want that, but at the same, I don't think the Chiefs care.
Hey, Trevor, real quick.
I don't think they care that much about that, man.
Remember in 2015, the road to the Warriors' first NBA Finals? They never faced a healthy point guard in the entire postseason. Did anybody ever knock the Warriors for that?
I mean, no. Us, but outside of us,
well, I'm saying,
logical reasons.
Does anybody care about this? Does it say on the championship, Warriors 2015 champions, quotations, but they never faced a healthy point guard?
All right.
How about the Celtics this year, Trevor? They had probably the easiest run in the history of the NBA to a finals. Did anybody use that against them?
Nope.
You could say it, but they're still the champs.
Yep.
So, yes, attrition is a part of the game. You can't knock the Chiefs if they go out there and knock a team around because they got banged up. Because let's be real, like I said, just a year ago, with a worse offense and a healthier Chargers, the Chiefs beat the shit out of that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to look at this and say, okay, the Chiefs are struggling offensively right now. They have an opportunity to really expose a team or open up on a team and get some guys right. Because let's be real, Trevor, a lot of times the games are based on guys getting confident. And Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time. I have to imagine early in a game, if he hits a couple big threes and he sees a couple go down, he's going to feel really good.
Confidence is the best drug in competitive sports.
So let's say by the third pass of Patrick's day, he throws a big touchdown to Rashi or Travis KELCE or a big bomb to Xavier Worthy. You don't think the offense can get in a rhythm because of that?
Yeah, we have yet to have a rhythm.
That's what I'm saying.
There's been no rhythm in this offense yet.
So this could be that game where, although yes, you should beat this team and no duh, it's like one of those this that. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about this game in the context of they got to make sure to beat this team. It's of how did the Chiefs get better from week to week? Like you said, stacking W's. Mm-hmm. Are you stacking W's and getting better as a team? Utilize a game like this against a bad team for once because they haven't faced a bad team yet. They've the fraudulent Bengals, but the Bengals on paper are not a bad team.
Still a very talented team.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Chargers are a bad team based upon their roster and availability right now. So beat the shit out of this team. Beat the shit out of them.
It's not something we really do, man.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's frustrating. I'm not expecting it.
But I'm not even expecting the Chiefs to score 35.
Yeah, there's no need to.
Score 27 points.
Give me another Harrison Butker game.
You're averaging 25 a game right now. Score 27.
Yeah.
Score 27 against this team, give up 10. That's a 17-point victory. Give me that.
Yeah.
If you give me that, I'm happy. Because not only you guys were 4-0, but you showed me, hey, you know what? They capitalized on this matchup. That was very favorable. They capitalized. I'd love nothing more, Trevor, than the fourth quarter. Carson Wentz is out there taking snaps.
Honestly,
Patrick Mahomes is done.
That sounds fun. That would be very pleasing to me as a Chiefs fan. But at the same time, I think the most pleasing result I think we can get out of this game, for me, this is where I'm at. I don't need us to go blow them out. That'd be fun, but I don't need it. What I really want to see here is a get-right game for KELCE and us win by 10.
I'm glad you brought up KELCE, Trevor, because that's the next subject I wanted to bring up, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just go ahead and give up one of my key players, is the key to this game.
Sure.
Because I think this is the get-right game for KELCE. I know people have been talking about this for weeks now.
That's what I want more than us winning by 20.
Look at the stats here, guys. Would you look at it? Look at these stats. So this is Travis KELCE since 2018. against a Chargers team that's had Derwin James for the majority of those games.
It's ridiculous.
67 catches for 913 yards and 8 touchdowns in 10 games.
That's a season.
That's
dude.
a season.
That's a Pro Bowl season for most tight ends.
Yes.
This is against one team.
And all the conversation, Trevor, this week has been about, when are you guys going to get Travis Kelce going? What is going on with Travis Kelce? Is he washed?
Yeah.
And Patrick has to hear this shit.
Step.
Patrick has to hear this shit. Andy Reid has to hear this shit. I think this could be a petty game where they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Travis, you're getting 3 touchdowns today.
Yeah, you're getting 13 targets,
buddy.
everybody.
Why not? Because you know what? After this week, they have, who is it? The Buccaneers, it's not the Buccaneers, but and then they have a bye week after that.
Next week?
Yeah, after next week. It's, shit, the chat's probably pissed at me right now for not knowing.
I forget who we played.
New Orleans. It's a Monday night game.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs have an extra day of rest.
Yeah.
So Travis Kelce can have a big day, get high usage, extra day of rest. Maybe he doesn't practice Monday and Tuesday, comes in on Wednesday, light duties, things like that. And you have a Monday night game against an NFC opponent.
Sure.
Then you have a bye week, and then you go to San Francisco. So, dude, what you're looking at here is 3 weeks of Travis Kelce not having to be really all that great after this. This is a divisional game. This is your first divisional game of the year, and you don't have another divisional game for a month. And it's the Raiders in Las Vegas. And we all know how horrible that team is. So Travis Kelce can go out there and expend himself and then kind of chill for the next month, and then gets to do it again against another divisional team. So what if the Chiefs literally, hey, you know what? Fuck it. You're getting, like you said, Trevor, 13 targets.
Yep.
You're going to get 10 catches.
Why not, man?
You're going to get 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I know it's there, Trevor, because like we talked about earlier, he's open all the time, especially in the red zone. And where they've been struggling the most is where? The red zone. So hit him in the red zone and let's fix some of the shit you guys are dealing with. Do you see that being a possibility?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna just before I say anything, the Chiefs don't care about what we want as fans. That may sound wrong, but hear me out. Like that, the Chiefs don't care. They have a formula. They know what they're doing. They're playing games just to win right now. They just want to keep winning, chugging along, getting these wins. They're pacing themselves, man. They absolutely have, and they started 3-0 against the toughest part of their schedule so far. So they're sitting nice, right? The Chiefs are playing with house money at this point. We're playing for a three-peat. We have bigger goals than anybody else in this league. We're trying to break history. And the Chiefs, if we desperately want this breakout game for Travis Kelce this year, or this get-right game for Travis Kelce. We want to blow out the Chargers. The Chiefs don't care about any of that shit. Right. So I'm really trying to balance myself as a fan of what I want to see and what the Chiefs actually give a shit about. They just want the win.
Yep.
We could go hit 5-6 field goals and get the win, stop the run, allow them to score 3 to maybe 10 points.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
We beat the Chargers. Boring. I don't care. Call it what it is. That's the narrative the Chiefs are going with. We don't care. Yeah, the Chiefs. If I'm trying to put my mind in the head coach's shoes and the front office shoes, how they want this season to go, just keep chugging out wins. Boring. Who gives a shit? But at the same time, what I want Travis Kelce to have 10 catches for 115 yards and 2 tutties.
Yeah, because
that's what I want.
Julie Gooley said it right there. Famous quote: "If you start listening to the fans, you'll end up sitting with them."
Exactly.
You're right.
Especially when this is a team that's won back-to-back Super Bowls, trying to get the third and break history. They don't care what we want, man.
I got another quote for you. When your coach looks like Santa Claus, I'm gonna write him a wish list.
No doubt, man. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave the cookies and milk out for Santa, Andy. I'm gonna let. I want the pony. I want you to score 30 every fucking once in a while. It'd be nice. Because if we're being real here, Trevor, obviously our team winning the Super Bowl is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But we also watch these games for entertainment value.
All right.
And a lot of times of late, it's not been fun. This is the debate I've had with several people on Arrowhead Allies and in person. I'm like, guys, we can sit here and acknowledge the fact this team's a dynasty, but for the last 2 years, football's not been fun.
Yeah.
These have been stressful ass games.
Another thing too, that going into these games, the Chiefs are wanting to maintain their health too. You know what I mean? So if they don't need to put guys in harm's way and try to make these big plays all week and try to put Xavier Worthy in precarious situations where he can get take a big hit across the middle or something like that, or Travis Kelce taking a big hit across the middle, and just playing the dink and dunk game and run the ball efficiently, and take field goals, take our points when we get them, whatever. I think the Chiefs are fine with that right now because we can't afford to start losing guys, and trying to play these up-tempo games, which this is not going to be, I don't think, in my mind. So I think that, they're trying to maintain health and chug away wins. And you can call it vanilla, you can call it boring, but I don't think the Chiefs care right now, man. So us hoping that we had this big blow-up game, probably not going to happen. But we could have a boring game and Travis Kelce can still go have a get-right game where he catches a bunch of balls and gets a touchdown or two. that can still happen. We can still win, 17-7.
Right.
I mean, that could still happen. Travis Kelce could just be the guy of the game that gets the work, which I think is likely. I think they do want to make sure Travis Kelce gets that work this week. But we still don't have to go blow them out in some crazy fashion. Because I think this Chiefs team just wants to get wins, stay healthy, play the long game here. And it is the Chargers, a banged-up team. We don't need to go light them up. Preserve our energy for a much better offense next week against the Saints, who has been, on fire this year outside of last week. They kind of fell back down to earth. But this is a team that can go rack up points in big ways and play, put up big points. So this just feels like a game where Butker's going to hit 5 field goals. It just feels that way, man. It really does. As much as I want to be surprised and us have a big blow-up game and Travis Kelce absolutely just go nuclear. That'd be awesome. But temper our expectations as far as I would say, man.
Well, let's get right to it, Trevor. Give me your key players. You already know one of mine, but give me your 2 key players for this game for the Chiefs.
Last week was Nick Bolton. We both had Nick Bolton, and we nailed that. Absolutely. Shout out to Nick Bolton, man. That was an incredible game.
Animal.
This is a Chamari Connor game. I think this is Chamari Connor's every week I've seen him gradually get better. He's still missing some tackles. He kind of over pursues a little too much, but I kind of like that sometimes. That's a guy that really wants to go make the play, and he misses a couple times, but that's a guy that is eager to make a big play, and I love guys like that. Trent McDuffie's been absolutely insane this year so far. He's been locking the slot down. They've been locking all-time talents like Jamar Chase, some of the best receivers in the league, and in those situations. So I'm not even gonna. That guy's a lock every week to be great. But I feel like this is another situation where Chamari Connor's gonna have like a strip sack. Whoever's back there, I think Spag's gonna line him up on the outside and have that DB blitz, which he draws him up better than anybody. I mean, the timing, you never see it coming. He always has that surprise bitch kind of sack that he sends his DBs on. So whether it's Justin Reed or a guy like that, he sends off the edge. It's a DB blitz. I think Chamari is one of those guys similar to L'Jarius Sneed was. He's so good at those. He gets home so quick. So I think he can either have a pick or maybe both, a pick, a tip drill pick, or a big strip sack or a big sack in the game. Chamari Connor is my guy on defense, but offensively, we all want it, right? I know you want it. I know everybody wants it. We need to see it. We need to shut these critics up. I think Travis Kelce's got to have to go out there and have a game. Travis Kelce, I think, is going to go have eight catches, on 11 targets, 11 targets, and I think he gets in the end zone, man. This is the week he has to do it. We all want it, so I'm with the people. This is a get right game for Travis Kelce.
Yeah, so I'm going to go right back to the well. I think Nick Bolton's another factor in this game.
I almost went there too, man.
Yeah, look, I know we want to mix it up, but trust me, I wanted to mix it up too.
Yeah.
I wanted to go about 4 other directions. But just the matchup alone tells me, Trevor, that this is going to be a game where Nick Bolton's going to have to implement the middle of the field because Taylor Heinicke, when he throws, he wants to throw safe balls and check downs, things like that, which means that linebackers are going to have to be ready. And I also think that they're going to. I still believe the Chargers are going to run the ball in this game. They're not going to go away from a run.
That's their identity. Yeah,
I think they run the ball at least 25 times in this game, especially if it is another freaking unnecessary nail biter.
Yeah.
So Nick's going to have another big game. And I think he rises to the occasion. We saw a better in shape Nick Bolton this week.
He's gotten better every week, man. He was rusty to start the year for sure.
And I'm going to take it a step further, Trevor. I think Nick Bolton has 15 tackles in this game.
Holy shit.
I really do. I think Nick Bolton's going to have 15 tackles, at least 15 tackles. Because
that's tackles plus
combo.
assisted.
Yeah. Like solo tackles.
Well, I mean,
Jesus
the
Christ.
over-under on DraftKings is 4.5, so take that every day.
Yeah, hammer that shit.
Yeah.
Combo tackles and combined tackles, I think he has 15. Because, like I said, this game, especially for the Chargers, as limited as they are,
a lot of trenches.
Yes, a lot of in the middle of the field. Nick Bolton's going to be involved in just about every play that he sees. So I'm saying big numbers from Nick Bolton this week. And I am expecting Travis Kelce to have that game of the year in this matchup. It's a perfect opportunity, like I said, for the Chiefs to get him going. Just kind of, like I said, give him a taste of remembering what it's like to be the guy that he is. Kind of just a reminder of, hey, we all know, dude, if we want to flip the switch, we can get you going. We know it's a precursor of the postseason. You know what I mean? This is what it's going to be in about 12, 13 weeks. So just get ready.
The Chargers, and I agree. And this is why, another thing on top of why I think this is a Kelce game, the Chargers just don't have the personnel to stop Kelce, bro. They just don't. And even if they try to bracket him the whole time, I don't really care. It's going to be Rashee Rice or Travis Kelce eating over the middle and underneath on these dig routes and these drag routes. Or even like some nice curl routes from Travis Kelce, to run, 8 to 10 yards and sit and grab and eat after the catch. He's a master at that in the tight end position. So this has to be a Travis Kelce.
And look at the culture shock, Trevor, this is going to be for this hobbled defense for the Chargers. You have their 3 games so far, they've played Gardner Minshew, Bryce Young, and Justin Fields.
Right. So their defense might be a little skewed. I mean, at the same time, though, they've lost their their 2 best defensive players.
Right.
I mean, Khalil Mack's great, too, but Derwin James and Joey Bosa are their 2 best defensive players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
So, it's going to be like I said, this is going to be a culture shock for the Chargers. And quite frankly, this might be a bad thing for Jim Harbaugh because not that I think he's mentally weak by any means. He's a very strong-minded man. But this is his first game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And if they get slaughtered, whether they has his guys or not, that can be a thing that gets in someone's head. Like we've seen this throughout time, Trevor, where the Chiefs break down opponents. They break opponents. When you see them lose in any form or fashion, you start to see those teams like kind of drift off. You know, look at the Bengals. Like they said, they had their chance in 2021 because they beat the Chiefs. But after that, the Chiefs have beaten them 3 straight times. And you're seeing them, their bad vibes. The Bills look really good right now. But let's be real, Trevor. We know if the Chiefs were to play the Bills in the postseason, how that game's going to go. Chiefs are going to beat them because they have their number. And the Ravens, same thing. Like we see this, they're and those are the contenders. Jim Harbaugh has all this pressure on him to change the trajectory of a franchise that's never really done much outside of the brief Marty Schottenheimer stint. So I look at this and I think if the Chiefs were to beat him by 17 to 20 points, that's going to really be a bad first impression for him. And I think that's going to be, because I talked to Lorenzo Neal this week, Trevor, and I asked him this question straight up. I'm like, and I wish I could play the clip, but just go back and watch it, guys, after the show. But I asked Lorenzo Neal straight up, I'm like, you know, what is your thoughts on this Jim Harbaugh era when it comes to when you expect him to turn it around? Because like everybody's assuming that he'll just turn it around like he did with the 49ers. But see, I always make the point, Trevor, that 49ers team was made ready. They had all pros and awesome players in their primes that he walked into. They just needed a good coach.
Yeah.
This Chargers team is not made ready, and they have a Patrick Mahomes in their division in the prime of his career. And also, you look at his Michigan days. It took him 10 years to finally win. So if it's going to happen, Trevor, I think it's the long game. And my question is, does Jim Harbaugh coach this team for 8 years? He's 60 now.
Yeah.
Do you envision Jim Harbaugh going to be coaching into his 70s? I don't. I think he's one of those guys that has a lot of passion, and it flames out and he moves on. I think that's what's going to happen with the Chargers, Trevor. I think that if he's going to win, it's going to happen within the first 3 or 4 years. And I don't expect them to win within the first 3 or 4 years. So I expect Jim Harbaugh's era to be overall a failure. I think he's a great coach. I think he's the Larry Brown of football. But I don't think this franchise and him are going to coexist long enough for them to really do anything against Patrick Mahomes in this division. I asked Lorenzo Neal that, and he was very dismissive of it. I understand. He's a former Charger. But he's very confident they're going to win very quickly. I'm like, you got to explain that one to me because I don't see it.
Yeah.
Because we also know, Trevor, this franchise is snake bitten. They get hurt all the time.
For a long time.
So unless that changes, and unless Jim Harbaugh just crushes ass in the draft and Justin Herbert finally becomes an elite quarterback, I just don't see it, man. So with that said, Trevor, what is your score for this one, man?
Obviously I wanted this to be a higher scoring game for us, and I think it'll be a moderately high scoring game. I'm going to say we score 27 points. And I think the Chargers only score, 13 to 15.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 27 to 15.
Okay,
a weird score. I think they're going to struggle getting the red zone. I think the Chiefs actually, when we're in the red zone, we get touchdowns this time.
Right.
Because we have to. We got to get things right. This is a get right game. Get some momentum going. Get some rhythm going in the offense. Get Pat some rhythm throws.
Yep.
Instead of having to make these touch throws and lobbing them these interceptions and when things are getting tight. He's got to stop doing that. We're putting him in a rough situation to do that. Granted, he's making those mistakes, but get Pat in some quick strike rhythm. You know, get guys going. Get Travis Kelce going, obviously, for Christ's sake. Get Xavier Worthy some jet sweep stuff. I'd like to see him score in the red zone. You know, when things get tight, get him a touch in the red zone because the guy's so fucking fast. Just get him the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get guys like that the ball. So I think this has to be a get-right game for our offense.
Yeah.
So I think 27 is a higher scoring game for us right now, unfortunately. But 27 to 15 is my score for the game.
Yeah, so the Chiefs are going to start this game 20-0. They're gonna go up early because I think that what they're gonna do is they're gonna do the normal, whether they defer or the Chargers take the ball first.
Yeah.
And I think there's an early turnover. I think the Chargers have an early turnover in the game, and the Chiefs get set up really well.
I mean, if it's Taylor Heineke,
yeah, and there's a
possibility.
quick strike. I think that's the Travis Kelce touchdown. I think you see a quick strike. Chiefs go up 7-0, And then they just, like I said, they just kind of put it on them where they're up for like 14-0 in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, they get a couple field goals. It's 20-0. You're feeling really good going in the second half, and we know what Andy Reid's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to take the foot off the gas. I think the Chiefs score maybe once or twice more in the rest of the game.
Will we see Carson Wentz in this game? I think there's a chance.
I think in the fourth quarter you do.
I think there's a chance Carson Wentz gets some action.
Yeah, because I think Trevor, the Chiefs are going to be up in this game like 27-3 at some point. And I think Carson Wentz comes in the fourth quarter and they get like a field goal. I think the Chiefs win this game 30-10.
I'm calling it. If Carson Wentz comes in, we're getting a Jared Wiley touchdown.
I would love that'd be cool.
Dude,
I do think the Chiefs.
go.
I think the Chiefs do. I think, like I said, I think there's like a third or fourth quarter touchdown. Just because, like I said, that they're moving the ball and they get like a. I think Carson.
We need to get a rhythm against a team that could put up points against us next week in the Saints. The Saints is a potent offense when they're hot, man.
I think either it'll be Carson Steele or Kareem Hunt that gets a touchdown in this game.
I think Carson Steele scores.
Yeah,
he should have scored last week.
He
should have scored last week, man. We screwed him over on that red zone trip. We should have given him the ball twice. He would have got in there. So I think Andy rewards him this week.
So I'm saying 20-0 to start like out the box like the first half. Then it's like 20-3. The Chargers driving in a nice little field goal or whatever. And then, like I said, the Chiefs either get a field goal and a touchdown, then a field goal.
Which would be nice to start hot because we always start slow in games.
Yeah.
Always start slow.
And I wanted to add obviously you heard the prediction. I don't think the Chiefs allow an opening drive touchdown or field goal from their opponent for the first time in the season.
I'm saying we start slow, man.
Yeah, I think this, like I said, I'm going to give the Chiefs, because of the matchup and because of who I believe they're going to continue to grow into, this is that like get right game where it gives them, it's one of those feel good games. And I think they win by 20 points. I think they win 30-10. So that's my score. So give us your guys' score. Give us your predictions on what you guys think's happened in this game. It's the perfect time to do so because now we get into Speak It. It's your guys' turn. We get to your guys' questions. I'm sure what other people are asking, man.
All right, before I get into the questions, I wanted to shout out. I wanted to do this earlier, but I was going to do it now. Wendy Hearn in the chat. Shout out to Wendy. She says, "Hi guys, love from Canada." So shout out. Shout out to the
family up
people
north.
from up north. Yeah, shout out to you guys. I just wanted to give her some love. I love seeing stuff from different countries and people from
Wendy. I will say, Trevor and I are big fans of syrup, and if you guys want to bring us some maple syrup. You can do that for Christmas. We can DM you the Addy. We appreciate all of our Canadian friends. I have a friend up there, 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺, my dude. I love him to death. Hope he's doing well.
Love me some Canadian beer.
Yes,
you guys make great
bring
beer.
all the Canadian shit down here. Even your guys' medical plan, we can do that too. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Can we do that?
But, no, shout out. Thank you, Wendy, for watching. We really do appreciate you hanging out with us.
Appreciate you. Yeah, I just wanted to shout her out. Give her I always love the fans from abroad chiming in. I love that stuff. So Ruben DeCruz from the top rope. Guys, why does media and others keep trying to push the narrative of Josh as a better QB than Pat ever was?
Because the league's bored. Everybody's bored. People don't like to. They've even admitted. I've heard. I think it was Ryan Clark or somebody like, "Well, we can't do a show if we just sit here and say that Pat Mahomes is the best because then we have to move on."
It's the LeBron effect. Same thing.
So what this world has created now is a media structure that you have to say things that get people pissed off or get them to react. It's no longer about having actual conversation that we would deem like honest. It's not about honest conversation. It's more about getting people to react. And that's just sad because I don't like the fact that we live in that world. Because, I mean, Trevor, you and I, every once in a while we'll have a juicy take here and there. You had the Panthers winning 9 games.
Hey, Andy Dalton might save this. Hey, dude.
Stop that shit.
Don't be surprised.
The point I'm making here is we like to believe that on shows like this, it's about having honest conversation. It's not about getting all the hot takes out there and trying to get everyone to react to what we're saying. We want to have real talks, man. And so I don't think I think that's the missing key because you're seeing it now on the ESPN world with their continued layoffs. They lay off Zach Lowe, maybe the senior ESPN NBA writer. Like, are you kidding me? That's like the one guy they had left that was actually giving them like good content. I 100% guarantee you the Athletic's going to bring him back.
Julia Goulia says that DK trade talk was scorching hot.
Julia, it's because I was right. If you see what that man's doing right now, that man is serving up touchdowns. That dude is looking good. Imagine him in this offense. You're going to tell me right now you guys would love to see him next to Rashee Rice?
Sure, but not for Trent McDuffie, though.
I'm not doing this conversation.
Nope.
I'm not doing this conversation. But the point is, yeah, man, that's the reason why we're having these conversations because to the credit of Josh Allen, he is playing really good football.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes is playing underwhelming football. But this is the conversation we have every single year where it starts off, oh, shit, Josh, it's his year. It's Josh Allen's
He's winning in more sexier talking topic kind of way.
Oh, yeah. Because
it's more fun to talk
guys,
about.
In 2021, I want to add this. 2021, Josh Allen was actually having a better start to his season through 3 games than this season.
Sure.
He's had better starts to his season than this. That's why everyone was crowning him back then.
Oh, for sure.
And then what happens? Yeah. What happens, guys? What we always know is going to happen. What's going to continue to happen? And it's all like Trevor. I think it has a lot to do with what Trevor said. It's because the Chiefs sit back and go, oh, they're going to get the attention. Bet.
Yeah,
what if we over here winning?
That's fine.
Don't pay attention to us. Let us fall down in the odds meters of who's going to win the Super Bowl. Bet.
Yeah, let the back-to-back champs fly under the radar.
Yeah, right.
Let's do that. Like how, you know what I mean? Like it's just hilarious, bro. Like, you guys want the headlines? Have the headlines, bro. We don't give a shit. We'll have the headlines when they matter, bro. It's hilarious. All right, next one from our guy Noah John Marshall on YouTube. Speak it. Can someone explain Noah Gray's contract? What am I missing? He's invisible. And now with Fortson signed, I am just confused. Noah Gray has never shown anything to get that type of money.
Well, okay, Noah,
too much money.
All respect to you, brother, because I understand the question, but what would you consider that kind of money? Because if you actually look at the contract, Noah's only making about $2.5–3 million a year. And for a high-end tight end 2/tight end 3, that's actually good money. Especially a guy that knows this offense, that's 25, 26 years old, that's played at a decent level for this team, that's always healthy, always available. A guy that you might say flies under the radar. I think it's mostly because of the fact that he does a lot of things we don't see or we don't pay attention to because it isn't in the stat column. Look, when the Chiefs got Noah Gray, a lot of people were asking, because of his size and the way he plays, is this a Travis Kelce replacement? I never really bought into that because he was a 5th-round pick, and I thought that's a tough ask to do for anybody, regardless of what round you're in, let alone a 5th-round pick. But I mean, Noah Gray's never really been a net negative to me in any way. Right. So I look at this contract extension. I thought it was a common sense move because you have to. It isn't always just about signing your stars. Sometimes there are guys that are staple glue guys. They're going to keep everything kind of together. They're adhesive. They're dudes that just do their job every single week, and they don't get a lot of praise. The thankless jobs, and that's where Noah Gray kind of falls into the category of. And so I understand that he may not be putting up the numbers.
Let's not forget, Noah Gray's had big moments even in the postseason.
Sure,
he's had big plays.
Scored. I mean, sure. Who are we talking about? Who scored the touchdowns in the Super Bowl last year?
Exactly, Noah Gray and Mecole Hardman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So glue guys that sometimes don't get the shine, but every once in a while,
trust them, yeah.
And that's the biggest thing right there is that Patrick Mahomes trusts these guys. So if anything, we should be on board with that fact alone. Is if he likes him. Now, when it comes to the whole Jody Fortson thing, like no offense to our guy Jody,
he's just a body at this point.
He's a practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Noah Gray isn't bouncing back and forth from the practice squad. He's much better.
And he's a familiar face.
Yeah, he's a much better football player than Jody Fortson. No offense to Jody, but Jody's always hurt. He's the opposite of Noah Gray. He's more physically talented than Noah, but Noah's better at football, a higher acumen, understands, and is available.
Yeah,
that's just the facts of it, man. So that's that. I hope that breaks it down a little bit better for you, man, because that's the reason why the Chiefs gave him that 3-year extension. And quite frankly, like I said, if you really look at the brass tacks of that contract, it's really not a lot of money at all, man. It's $10 million, I think, in total, but I think the guaranteed dollars are very minimal.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
Next one from our guy Noah John Marshall. Can this team ever rely on CH again? They are desperately in need of RBs, and he's on IR, but not due to physical things. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't
think we're that desperate as much as you think at running back. I think this team, Andy Reid always finds ways to get production out of running backs, dude. Carson Steele looked really good last week. He was almost 4.5 a carry.
If the Chiefs didn't sign Kareem Hunt back, I would be worried. But that's insurance right there.
Yeah.
That's insurance. And we know, again, Pacheco will be back.
Yeah,
He'll be back
Pacheco
late
had
here.
the upside, of course.
Yeah.
We don't need great production out of the running back.
I would love to have an answer for you, but I'm not gonna give you any bullshit here, dude. I really don't know because I have no idea where CEH is mentally right now.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, I think everybody that isn't an asshole is hoping for the best for CEH, but I really don't even know if we'll ever see him play football. I don't know.
Yeah, don't bank on it. But
I have no idea. The Chiefs kept him on the roster, obviously, because it would be a really bad look if this man's dealing with PTSD and you cut him.
Yeah.
That would look really bad. He's on the non-football list right now, so I'm hoping for the best, but if you were asking me right now, gun to my head, like, what do I think is going to probably happen? We probably don't see CH this season. But if he was on the field and he was good in a good place in a good space, I would expect Clyde to be a positive for this team because he always has been for the most part. So, yeah, man, I just feel really uncomfortable. Not that the question's a bad question, but I feel kind of uncomfortable giving you an honest answer right now because I don't really know where he's at. So hopefully he's good, and hopefully we'll see him come back because I would love that for Clyde because he's only 25 years old and he didn't deserve what happened to him at all, man. I mean, nobody should ever have a gun pointed at him. That's insane. So yeah, I'm hoping he can continue his career and have really good years ahead of him, whether it's here in Kansas City or somewhere else, man. I just want the best for him, just like I would want for anybody else.
Yeah, and then John Harrison did say, sorry, Noah Gray did not score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. MVS caught that TD on the drive up. But it was the AFC Championship game that he scored in. Remember, right before the half.
That's my fault.
And he made me like $450 on that play. So that was great. I appreciate Noah for that.
That's
Maybe
my fault, John.
maybe that's why my undying love for Noah Gray is
John is our Snopes. I'm telling you, man. He always he's community notes on X. He's always like making sure we're fact checked. Thank you, John, for that correction, because you are right. But he did score a touchdown.
But nonetheless, he made a big play in the postseason.
Yes.
And then Julie Gula did chime in on that last question, saying 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾 can do what CH can do, and I agree with that. I think Ryan's the better player in my opinion. I think he can do more for this offense. Like, he's a better pass pro guy on top of it too. So I love Clyde. I love the person. I love what whatever he's contributed to this team. He's been a part of this run. So much love to him. But he's easily a replaceable guy. I think we talked about that ad nauseum on this show. But I hope he just gets his mental right. That's all we care about. And I did want to shout out somebody came in also. Your Average Karen. Nice name on there on X. Shout out from Tampa. Originally from KC, but moved away 25 years ago. Job. I was a season tickets holder here for 15 years before we left. My allegiance belongs to the Chiefs, but now a season ticket holder for the Bucks because I love football. My score prediction is 38-13. Chiefs.
I love it.
Let's go, man.
Well, I don't know if your real name is Karen, and you're definitely not average, because no one's average here at the Spoke, and we consider everybody special and unique here. So thank you for being with us. Hopefully you'll stick around. We enjoy it. I will warn you, if you're new here, which seems that you are, we are very animated, and we are guys that do not hold back. So there will be weeks we probably make you disagree with us, but we hope that is only what's going to galvanize our relationship a little bit. We may agree or disagree, but at the end of the day, you know that we all want the same thing, which was clearly that the Chiefs win games. So thank you for watching from Tampa. It's funny, our guy Shaggy Shane, a really good friend of ours, his wife Tracy is actually from the Tampa area as well. So we know that there's a lot of transplants from the opposite end as well. So 25 years is a long time, but never forget that home is always here in Kansas City. We consider you one of us. So Karen, or whoever's behind that name, you don't have to reveal yourself if you don't want to. We appreciate you chiming in and coming in and hanging with us for a little bit, man. Man or woman, whoever you are, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We hope that we can have you stick around.
Yeah, feel free to go full Karen on us if you disagree with us. That would be
above average Karen.
Fun for the chat time. Starcade Media chimes in and says CH was in the locker room yesterday, horsing around and smiling in the locker room.
Well, I'll take that as a positive.
That's good vibes.
That's great vibes.
It's opposite Cincinnati vibes.
That sounds like to me like he's a guy that's on the come up, and that's what we want to see. Whether he ever plays again or not, I like you said, Trevor, we want to see him happy.
Bro, of course.
Because mental health, I mean, we don't need to go on a tangent here, but let's be real, guys. We all know somebody right now, and maybe it's you, that deals with serious mental issues.
Or has seen some shit and involved some shit like he went through, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
we all know people that have done. Our grandfather, who did 2 tours in Vietnam, severely dealt with PTSD for a long time. So, and we saw him overcome it. It was wild how that happened. We were kids. You know, we'd stay over on summer nights, and we'd hear him in the middle of the night get up and freak out because he thought he was back at Vietnam and Charlie was coming. Yeah. And as the years went on, he got a lot better, got on the right medications and things like that, and he lived a really fruitful life after that. So, man, I'm really hoping that's the case for CH. He doesn't have to deal with something that severity, but if he is, or anybody out there is, that they get the right help and they get to live life like this. And I'd imagine, man, being around the guys in the locker room is the perfect thing for Clyde.
Especially him being a locker room guy. Like he's known as like guys like him and
him and Patrick are very close.
Yeah,
they're very close.
Yeah, they're jokesters. They keep things light. That you need that in the locker room, man.
Right.
Because this is a grueling sport. It's a long season, so you need those kind of guys around. Tony Russell, I'd rather see a jet sweep than all these bubble screens. You beat pressure with quick slants, drag routes, and screens, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that we definitely, Tony and I would definitely agree there, man. Yeah. Like I said, I think that the Chiefs have already kind of shown us that, though. I think they've already shown us that they will use quick screens like that because against the Falcons, that's all Patrick was doing.
And expect Xavier Worthy's workload to get ramped up throughout the season. We're going to start utilizing that speed.
Yeah.
Trust me, that kid's going to start getting some work. They're trying to figure out his role. He could have had a big play last week. I think could have changed our perspective on certain things with him because he started off so hot and it's kind of been downhill since then. But I think he's a big play potential. I mean, he needs 1 or 2 plays that can make his week. You know what I mean? So that kid is going to start getting the work. And I think the quick strikes has been the offense for the most part, which he's been the beneficiary of that. But starting to get Travis Kelce maybe this week involved with those quick strikes is ideal as well. So
I wanted to throw that out here. Our guy Micah Hayes just chimed in. He said, I suffer from mental health issues. The only focus should be on CEH getting the best mental help he can get and live a happy life.
Yeah.
Mike,
and if happy life involves him being an NFL player and this kind of being a distraction from certain things to kind of help him cope and get through certain things, then so be it. And I commend the Chiefs for keeping him around and, leaning into him, his help.
Yes.
And, what I mean? So that's important, man. And
So,
it's a
Michael-
class act from the Chiefs.
Michael, in all seriousness, we do hope you're doing well, brother, and we hope that you've surrounded yourself with good people, good positive influences, because we know that is absolutely key in that situation, man. So we appreciate you opening up about that, because I know that's tough, especially for men. Let's be real. Men opening up about mental health issues, it's a very tough thing. So I commend you for putting that out there, being vulnerable with us, brother. We have nothing but respect for you, and we hope that you're doing well, man. So thank you for saying that.
Absolutely, man. Adam Cole, do you think they are trying to get the wide receivers more involved from the beginning of the season instead of using the tight ends?
Yes and no. I think the reason why I say yes is because I think the initial idea was when you're going to have Hollywood Brown, you're going to have a lot more guys on the outside that you could utilize, especially downfield, because that's what Patrick was really looking forward to. But at the end of the day, if we're being real, man, Andy Reid loves using 12 and 13 personnel, having multiple tight ends on the field, having multiple running backs on the field.
It's a good way to disguise things.
Yeah, Andy's always been that way. Even back in the Alex Smith days, he loved utilizing a lot of big, strong tight ends. So I'm going to say, like I said, yes and no. Because even if Hollywood Brown was healthy, we'd still see plenty of Noah Gray. You'd still see Jared Wiley out there for any occasion, and obviously Travis Kelce's going to be on the field plenty. So I think there's just a little bit of both on that situation. Not to avoid the question, but I think it's just the initial idea was both. Now with Hollywood Brown out, and Xavier Worthy still very much growing into his NFL body and NFL career, I think they're probably going to actually lean more into door number 2, where they go with more Noah Gray, and if Jody Fortson gets called up, you're going to see him. Jared Wiley, like you said, Trevor, is going to be out there. Multiple running back sets. With
I want to see Jared Wiley start getting his workload ramped up a little bit too. I like that kid, man.
Right.
He's a beast too. He looks so big out there. He's a massive guy, bro. I love seeing that guy out there. Noah John Marshall, speak it. FAU going to start for Dana this week. What do we expect going against a backup tackle?
Well, Dana, what's weird is that the Chiefs have been using Dana in a different way. He usually lines up more on the left side of Chris Jones, whereas FAU's been lining up on the right side. I don't know if that means anything or not, but I think that FAU is more of a speed rusher, whereas Mike's more of a power. Mike likes to kind of bully a guard. That's kind of the way he likes to get to a quarterback. So I don't know if they're going to use them the same way. I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think what you're going to see is a lot of Turk Wharton replacing Mike Dana's
Who's been
side.
great this
He's been
year.
awesome. He's been freaking awesome.
Yeah, man.
So he's going to get an uptick in snaps. And I do expect Mike Pennell and the guys, the bigger guys, are going to play a big role in this week, because especially this week, because like I said, the one thing the Chargers got going from is a run game. And I think they're going to want to put some big chunky dudes in the middle of that field.
Yeah, Tranquil and Bolton going to be lighting up that box too, bro. You already know.
I think Pennell and Wharton and guys like that are going to be the ones you see clogging up those lanes.
Yeah,
I do expect
play the gaps, man.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting FAU to get plenty of snaps in this game, though. But he's going to be more on the outside, where he's going to be going after the quarterback more so than the running backs, where the majority of the ball is going to be handed to this week.
Yeah, agreed. Next question from Dustin Orton. Speak it. With a fractured O-line, I think Spags should blitz the hell out of Herbert. How many sacks do you think we get?
Well,
if Herbert plays,
it
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think just the quarterback pair. I think the Chiefs can get 3 or 4 sacks in this game. The problem though is that I could also see him getting 0, because I think that Jim Harbaugh is going to make sure that his quarterback is protected by handing the ball off a lot, which is going to set up play action and things like that. And I think that Spags, if I'm a betting man, Spags is going to come in with a game plan of, hey, you're going to beat us by throwing the ball. That's the only way you're going to beat us. You're not going to beat us by getting 160 yards on the ground. That ain't happening. We're going to make sure that J.K. Dobbins has his worst game of the season, because J.K. Dobbins right now has been a top 5 running back in the league. And I don't think that Spags is going to let that happen this week. I think he's going to throw all the dogs in the middle of the field and make sure that they force Heineke or Herbert to throw outside and try to beat single man coverage down the field. That's what I think you're going to see. It's going to be a lot of pressure boxes in the middle. So if you see Heineke do a 6-7 step drop back, I do expect Chris Jones to get it there. I do expect FAU and Karlaftis to make some noise. High-end 3 sacks, but I can see this being a 0-sack game, because the Chargers ran the ball 28 times for 65 yards.
And if it is Heineke that's playing, I mean, Heineke is a mobile quarterback. People forget about that. He's definitely got some legs on him. So I think that's why I like Chamari Connor to make a play, to kind of maybe spy him a little bit, or have those that that corner safety blitz that Spags just draws up with perfection. I think one of those plays can make a pivotal play in the game defensively, maybe force a sack or a forced fumble, and get into the end zone defensively again, because we've already seen us do that a couple times this year. So definitely think that one of those is on the horizon. Next question, Bumpa BB. Do you guys agree with Wane taking Kingsley's job at left tackle?
No,
Lance
I do not.
is a no.
No, I do not. And I will say this. We didn't address it in the opening conversation, but I'm not here to take anything away from Wane. I thought Wane was fine against the Falcons. But see, the reason why he looked fine in that game is two very significant factors. One, he wasn't facing the defenses or the all-pro pass rushers that Kingsley was in the first 2 weeks. Two, for the first time all season, the Chiefs were operating the chip correctly. You saw the tight end. You saw the running back hitting the pass rusher on the left side. They weren't running by them like they did in the first 2 weeks. They were actually chipping the pass rusher, which makes the job of Wanye's that much easier because it knocks that dude off his rhythm. And it gets his base in place to where he can have that upfront pressure and create an ability to block. That's what they had. They had to do that for Wanye because Wanye is not a left tackle. I have been telling people this now for 2 years. He is not built for that position. He is going to be a guard or a right tackle in his career. I don't know why they made this move. I completely disagree with it. I understand that Kingsley had growing pains, but that's how he's going to learn, and that is how he's going to get better. Sitting him down is not helping him. Sure, he can watch, he can, study, but it's not making him a better player. So I 100% disagree with this. I will die on this hill gladly, and until the Chiefs set up Kingsley for success, instead of leaving him on islands against all-pro pass rushers in his second game of his career, then you're not going to get better results. I guarantee you, if Kingsley would have got the same help against the Falcons in that game, you would have saw the exact same performance, if not better, in that game that you saw from Wanye.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to this. I mean, they did kind of set, and Pat was taking too many hits from that side in the first couple of games. Granted, Kingsley was left on an island for sure, and I would figure Andy Reid would just leave that guy in the fire until he learns, but they pulled him out, Wanye has been the guy, and Wanye played well last game, and I get it. It was against a little lesser competition. That's a good defensive line over there in Atlanta, but still not to the level of the guys that we played in the first couple weeks. But I'm always of the mind that if the guys, whoever's playing the best, I don't care about the name on the back of the jersey. I want who's playing the best on the field, and if it's Wanye right now, maybe it's Kingsley later in the year if he starts performing a little bit better, and we want to see him grow. Or if they want to let him learn a little bit on the sidelines. And I'm trusting the coaches here. I want Kingsley to be the guy. I think he is the guy for the future. But if right now, if the better play is to put Wanye, who's a 1 year more experienced, he's a big guy, big body. I don't think he's got the feet or the hands that Kingsley does. I don't think he's nearly the athlete that Kingsley is. But if they think he's the better guy and he's performing better at the moment, I'm fine with Wanye being out there. But at the same time, I do think Kingsley is the guy for the future, and he's got a long career ahead of him, man. So I'm not worried about right now. I'm really not. So if Wanye's the guy then so be it. If he's playing well and his name's not getting mentioned on the broadcast, I'm fine with that. So protect Pat at all costs. That's all that matters to me.
Right.
Micah Hayes. Anybody know if defensive end Cam Thomas will be active with Dana being out?
I haven't seen anything about that. I would think
question.
that this would probably be a perfect opportunity to get Cam Thomas activated because
I want to see what he's got.
Otherwise, why did you trade for him? They didn't just go and sign; they traded for him.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him, get activated. This would be a really good week, and also this is like a really good opportunity for Cam Thomas to show out against a weaker opponent too. Because if he goes out there and balls out, then all of a sudden you got some depth competition.
Man,
you know what I mean? That's a good prop to have.
Yeah, we made that move for a reason. I like that. The kid was great in college, man.
The Cardinals just didn't. And I talked to a Cardinals fan. They told me, that defense they run out there, it's not right for Cam Thomas. He's not built for that type of defense. He's built more for Spags defense.
If Spags and Veach are going after a guy and making sure they get a guy. I mean, how do you not trust Spags with getting guys that he loves? We went and got a Menahu, and look what a Menahu's done when he's been healthy in this defense. You know what I mean? So those kind of guys, Spags just has a knack for, those longer body guys that are just good at getting after the quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be – I would love to see him get out there, man. That's a good question, Micah. I'm hoping we can see some film on this kid. James T. Kirk, bittersweet. Royals backed into the playoffs. Should us fans be optimistic they win a series?
Goddamn right you should be. Look, man, this
it ended ugly, but yeah.
Yeah, they had a very rough September. They also lost a very important piece in Vinny Pascantino.
Yeah.
And they really struggle to score runs. But man, I'm telling you right now, this Royals pitching staff.
Yeah, how can you not be stoked for this team?
Bro, with Cole Reagans and those guys going right now, look.
We have a top 3 player in baseball, bro.
Yes, Bobby Witt is an absolute phenom.
Top 3 player in this league.
Salvi's still a monster. They got enough to win a series or two. Do I think this team's getting to the World Series? No.
Yeah.
But dude, we've seen wild card teams over the last 3 years make the World Series. So it could happen, but yeah, either way, Royals fans should be stoked that they're even in the postseason. Because guys, it's been almost 10 years since they've been in the postseason. This stuff doesn't happen in Kansas City very often. The Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls since the last time they went to the postseason. The Royals went to the postseason. Like, be stoked about this, man. You absolutely have fun with this, man, as long as it lasts. Because postseason baseball is amazing. Even people that don't like baseball watch postseason baseball. It's electric. Mm-hmm. So be excited. Yes, dude, this is what you fight for. It's a long season to get here. Enjoy this, man.
Man, if we win this, if the Chiefs are undefeated a few weeks from now, and the Royals have won a series, this city is going to be, the aura is going to be different, man.
Yeah, because back when the Royals were winning, the Chiefs weren't winning like playoff games.
It hasn't really happened simultaneously.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great, man. To see Witt and Mahomes lead both teams in the city at the same time, that'd be awesome.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Next one from our guy, James G. Kirk. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I remember Lance mentioning he played sports as a young lad. What's the most crushing loss you had? LOL. Keep it light.
Oh, well, it's not light. It's very sad, actually. So I was, when I actually, Trevor can attest to this. When I was younger, I was actually a pretty decent basketball player. Trevor was obviously better than me as he grew older, but when I was a little kid, I could hoop. I was actually a good shooter.
Good 3-point shooter, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on a team that was undefeated all season. I think this was fourth grade. And we were undefeated.
Taking it back to elementary.
I was leading the league in 3-pointers made, and we were having a great season. Me and my buddy Zach Phillips, Cole Hinkle, and these guys were all on the team together, and we were going to win the title that year.
Spring Hill Broncos.
Yeah, we were bound and determined to win that year. And I remember there was like 3 seconds left in the game. We're down 2 points. My buddy Zach Phillips gets the ball, takes 2 dribbles from half court, shoots it, banks it in, buzzer goes off. We win the game by 1. And we're going nuts. We're going insane. And a ref said he traveled and took the basket off. We lose. Come to find out, that ref's son was on the team we actually beat. So I hate to be the guy that's, I don't think about it or anything. I'm not like the guy on Grown Ups. It's like, oh, his foot was on the line. I'm not like that. I don't care anymore. I've only cried.
Laces out.
I've only cried like 4 times over the last month about it, so I don't think about it very much. But that, I was devastated. I was absolutely, and Trevor, you were actually on that team. I don't know if you remember. You were on that team. Like I said, Trevor was the late
young lad.
Trevor was the late bloomer. Like, he wasn't as good at basketball at that time, but he way surpassed me afterwards. But that point, I was like, I just remember like seeing all my teammates. I was shocked. I didn't have my emotions going. All my teammates were bawling their eyes out. I was just sitting there like, what the hell? And that was like the first life moment when like you realize life isn't fair, because Trevor and we had a good childhood. So like when I hit that hit me, I was like, wait, this isn't supposed to happen. Like,
why are you guys crying?
Yeah, like no, I was just like I couldn't have emotions. I was so shocked because I had I'm right next to my boy Zach Phillips, because I ran the outside, he ran the inside, and they threw the ball to him because the play was originally for me, but he was the one that was open. And he got the ball and banked that. It was beautiful.
I wouldn't have traveled. I wouldn't have traveled if I had the ball.
Oh man, but I just remember how crushing that was. So that's my answer for you. That immediately came to mind when you asked that question, because I remember that one, how bad that was. But I've also had some great moments in sports as well. If you ever ask that question, I'll tell you about that one. But that was definitely it for me, man.
Good times. Elementary days. James T. Kirk. The bad vibes in Cincinnati are so far correct. If you were Zach Taylor, would you try to put a lid on pregame talk from their players?
Yeah, but the problem is you can't really do it other than saying like, I'm going to fine you guys. But that's the problem though, is that you don't want to become a dictator.
Right.
You know, as a head coach, who, by the way, I think Zach Taylor is very much on the hot seat right now. I think that you have to be careful on how you conduct yourself with your teammates, because these aren't college kids. These are grown men who are making money that far surpasses your salary.
That's what makes coaching in the league so much more tougher, man.
Yeah, so and I think Zach's definitely got the respect of his team.
I love Zach Taylor.
I haven't heard anything negative about the way his team feels about him, but I think that turn or that tide would change if he starts saying like, hey, $10,000 every time you guys say something.
Yeah.
But to that point, Zach did say something that he goes, I would prefer it if we didn't say stuff to give other teams bulletin board material. But that team's just got a fetish for that shit, dude. I don't know what it is, but Cam Taylor-Britt, Jamar Chase, it's a cultural thing in that locker room. They love running their mouth, and they apparently like taking L's. So that's also a thing.
Shaggy Shane, what up, big dog?
Yo.
What do you think? We already kind of addressed this, but I'm not going to not have Shaggy Shane's question up here. What do you think of King Felix stepping up with that sack and forced fumble, especially with Dana hurt?
Well, I want to get your thoughts on this one too, Trev. But I refuse to give up on FAU because of that. Now, look, obviously it was an easy play for FAU because the left tackle went on the inside and left the outside wide open. But the man made the play.
Yep.
And you got to give him his respect and got to give him his credit when credit is due. And I look at FAU as a speed pass rusher.
He is fast, man.
And he looks awesome.
Yeah.
And Chris Jones has been singing his praises all training camp, all throughout the season so far. And I like to believe it's more than just the fact that they're teammates. I think it's because they all see, oh, okay, now I see why this guy was Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Now I see why this guy was a first-round pick. Because it wasn't just because the kid's a local. It's because the kid's a fucking good football player.
Yeah.
I mean, will he ever become a great football player? I don't know. Maybe. He's only 23 years old.
I don't ever think he's going to be that dude, but if you put him along a cast like he has right now and with Amenahu on his way back
plays.
too, the kid he's going to be an opportunist.
Yeah.
You bet your ass he'll be an opportunist on this defensive line. And with like to Shaggy's point with Mike Dana down, I think this is an opportunity for him to showcase what he can do. Right? Him having more of an opportunity, probably be on the field a little bit more, obviously, this week against a banged-up O-line. So this is a situation where he really should put some good tape out there. If any opportunity, if ever, this is the week to do it. So go out there and get 2-3 sacks, have an all-time game this week, bro. Why not? I mean, I think this is the best opportunity for him to do that, especially with this banged-up O-line already going to have to focus and double, triple team Chris Jones at times. Dude, you better go make some plays this week. He made a play last week, like obviously with the forced fumble, and that's an opportunist situation right there. And he's taking advantage of the weak side of the offensive line. Do that every single time, and he's got a fast first step on him too, man. Like you said, he's not a bull rush kind of guy, but he is a guy that will beat you around the end and at least set the edge.
Yes,
he's good at that. Similar to how Frank Clark was.
Yes,
wasn't the best guy that's going to bowl you and go right through you, but he will set an edge like nobody else. Right. He will get around you and force you to the other side and lead you right into Chris Jones' arms. So that's just as a big a deal as getting a sack while helping your other teammates take advantage of you setting that edge and forcing the other way. So I think this has got to be a week where Spags kind of lets him pin his ears back and go use that speed to get after whichever quarterback is starting this week. So I like Felix a lot this week.
Good take. Yep.
Last question from Cell32Alt. Thoughts on Cat to the Knicks?
Oh,
bro,
Trev told me about this one late last night, man. I had heard rumblings about this possibility. Remember when they were talking about moving on from Cat because of his contract, and they wanted to, possibly bring in Kevin Durant. I thought that is what they were going to do, is maybe a Cat and a piece for Kevin Durant, or a couple of three-way team trade, a 3-team trade.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense for the Knicks.
It's a great move for the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of salary.
It's a spread 5, and Julius Randle and DiVincenzo and a first-round pick. Both sides won. You get the Knicks gave away, like I said, DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and a first-round pick.
Yeah, I think it's a really
Minnesota
good move for both sides.
Yeah,
because of the fact, Trevor, real quick, and obviously you probably pay attention more to the NBA than even I do now.
Sure.
But the reason I like this trade for both teams is because now what it does, it establishes the fact that this is now Anthony Edwards' team in Minnesota. Yeah. There's no more.
Well, and the Twin Towers thing just wasn't working with Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns.
And you saw that. I think Cat was in his own head during the postseason because he, again,
kind of always has.
I think there's some guys that don't know how to not be the guy.
Sure.
And I think that Cat's one of those dudes. Now he knows.
Yeah.
I'm in New York. I'm the man.
Yeah.
Like, he's the guy. So
Brunson.
Well, okay, but let's be real.
Brunson's still.
Cat is the ball's going to be worked through Cat though. Like, Brunson's going to bring the ball down.
Yeah, I like the move for the Knicks, especially because they didn't have they tried to Porzingis for a little bit, that spread 5 that can hit the 3, and it was working. But Porzingis just couldn't stay healthy. He's good where he's at now. Obviously, just one ring. I like this move for the Knicks because it brings a dimension to their team that they haven't had. Julius Randle can never stay healthy. He's awesome but he's so streaky when he is healthy. And he's not the best. He kind of takes plays off defense and whatever. I like him, but he's not. I think he's a little overrated, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But I think Karl Anthony Towns, like I said, brings a new dimension to this offense. That spread 5, who's one of the better 3-point shooting bigs in the game, and is a bucket. I mean, Cat's a bucket. When he's hot, he is fucking unstoppable at times. So he's so good. And then adding that with the extreme talent of Brunson, I like that move for this. And DiVincenzo's a very replaceable guy. As much as he played really, really well, maybe had a career year last year with shooting and being a really good two-way player, he's a very replaceable guy.
Well, those New York Italians are probably pissed.
Sure, but you
get rid of DiVincenzo.
And there was tension between DiVincenzo, I think, and the coaching staff because DiVincenzo wanted to kind of build on that role as being that starter, but I don't think they really believed in him to be that guy because I think he was only playing so much because Julius Randle being hurt a lot of the time last year. He had to kind of play in that more of a small ball kind of lineup that they had, and I think Cat adds this more. They could play more big while having they could spread the floor while having a big. Having a spread five is. I mean, just guys like Jokic are just an anomaly. Guys, he's a point guard and the big, but that's very rare to have in this league. Joel Embiid, another guy, can do it as well, but that's very rare. So most of the time, having a big that can play dominant in the post and hit threes, that's what Cat brings you. You know what I mean? So I think the Knicks won this trade, even though they gave up a first-round pick and two really good players. But I think those two really good players, Julius Randle fits the identity of what the Wolves are, and they're becoming more of that tough kind of team with Anthony Edwards leading the way. I think both teams won this trade. I think this is about as good a trade as you can get. So I love the trade, man. I thought both teams got what they wanted out of it. So good question. Appreciate you.
Well, is that it, or we got any more questions?
I think that is it for the questions, man.
Awesome, man. Great questions, guys. Awesome questions. We very much appreciate
the best questions.
Yeah. Best words.
The best.
With best words, best questions.
Best chat.
Speak it. Podcast. That's terrible. We appreciate you guys, though, regardless of any political affiliation. But we have a fun time with you guys every single week. We tell you guys at the top, we tell you at the bottom of every single show, like I tell you guys on here every single week. Go to YouTube if you be so kind. Go to the Spoken Podcast, hit subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. Or obviously comment, because we want you guys to get in the chat. That is the most important thing. Obviously, we want you to subscribe because it helps us out big time. We're trying to monetize this account, and we're putting a lot of work into it, guys. So that would very much help us if you tell your friends about us. But comment, get in the chat every single week. It makes our show so much more fun. Trevor and I have our sports conversations every day anyway. Might as well you guys join us on Saturdays. That's literally what this is. It's just an extension of what we already do. So we just want to have more friends around. You guys are our friends, and we very much appreciate every single one of you that joins us every single week and chimes in. I love the fact we got some new people in today, and they're
feels like every
Canada,
week we get new
Tampa.
names.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I love the fact that we can drive a community from all over the freaking world. That's just to say real quick, that's why we're living in the best time to ever live. Like, we are living in the best time to ever live. I know the world is hectic and crazy and stressful and sad and depressing, but there's also a lot of really good stuff, and that is happening right here. This is one of the cool reasons to be alive right now, is the fact you can make a community out of just simply doing a live stream, talking football, and like-minded individuals that have opinions and beliefs in the same things. We'll talk to you about it. So that's why we do this every single week, man. So thank you guys, in the longest way imaginable, of telling you, for being a part of what we do here at Speak It and on the Spoken Podcast. Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called?
Hold this L.
Each and every episode, we finish off every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports, whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports. We promise you, whoever's holding those L's deserve those L's. Trevor Toole, who's holding the L for you this week?
Listen, man, I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit this week. We talked about it for a little while on the show already. We had damn near a whole segment on this team, but the Cincinnati Bengals as a whole, Cam Taylor-Britt particularly, Jamar Chase particularly. But I'm just going to read this Bengals Wire little tidbit that they put out, I think earlier today or late yesterday. Zach Taylor slams door on Cam Taylor-Britt's bulletin board material saga. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Cam Taylor-Britt will have... Okay, now this wants to load an ad for me. Sorry, guys. Will have nothing but praise for upcoming opponents this season. That much can be confirmed based on head coach Zach Taylor's reaction to Taylor-Britt's comments directed at Washington, because we know he had comments leading into the Chiefs game prior to that. Backfired him. Granted, he had one of the best picks I've ever seen in my life, so kudos to him. The kid is good. I'm not going to act like he's not good, but the comments tend to backfire when it comes to the results of the game, win and loss column there. That is much confirmed based on the head coach Zach Taylor's reaction to Taylor-Britt's comments directed at Washington, the game they just lost last week. That's not what we do, Taylor said after the Monday night loss. We praise our team. We praise the other team. We don't take shots like that. That team hasn't punted in 2 weeks. So that's a comment from Zach Taylor that kind of shows that he's getting fed up with it too, because it is starting to backfire on them, and it's honestly becoming a bad look because they're becoming that team that's all bark, no bite. While Taylor Britt's nice college offense quote got a response from the Commanders coaches, perhaps wasn't meant as a slight. Bullshit. He needed to foresee that media machine would run with it and the other team would use it as motivation, of course. To his credit, CTB had become pregame trash talk, has some pregame trash talk before playing the Chiefs too, and reeled in perhaps the best reception of the entire season. Either way, don't expect anything else from CTB anytime soon. Ja'Marr Chase is still in this conversation as well, because Ja'Marr Chase still believes that they are the team to beat in the AFC, and that is 100% a shot at the Chiefs, who are the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. We all know this. This has been something that's been happening for, honestly, a couple years now. The Bengals just tend to, the whole Burrowhead thing, and then all this. I mean, the Raiders aren't out of this picture too. The Raiders still got some getting to be got too. We're not done with the Raiders yet. We got a lot of things to settle with them, but that was happening this past offseason. So looking forward to those matchups as well, because they look great.
They have I don't know if you heard, Trevor, the Raiders have the blueprint to beat the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, the Mahomes rules for sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm just licking my chops, bro. I can't wait for those matchups. Those should be the games that should be blowouts. Those are the games we'll run it up on. That'd be fun to talk about when we come Raider weeks. Anyways, back to these fools. Cincinnati Bengals just cannot like we talked about on the show earlier. Man, we had a whole segment on this show, but that was my planned L. I wanted to give them their respect that was due, the disrespect that was due, if you will. Cam Taylor-Britt, Ja'Marr Chase, even Zach Taylor having to come out here and make a statement now about pregame trash talk that he doesn't even want his guys to say because they keep taking L's, and now they're 0-3 to start the season, and their season is now cooked and done, finished and finito, if Lance would say. So for that, Bengals organization as a whole, Bengals wire having to come out and even make this and actually physically type this while tears streaming down their face. Do me a solid favor and hold this L.
We talk a lot about how we give praise to the Chiefs' offensive line, as we should. I mean, my God, what Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith do every single week is just nothing short of incredible. I think they're the best trio, middle trio in the league. I think Patrick Mahomes has been pressured second fewest amongst all quarterbacks in the league this year. He didn't get sacked against the Falcons. I think he's only been sacked 3 times this whole season. So he's on pace to only get sacked 17 times. Yeah. That's incredible. An unsung hero in this offensive line is the guy that a lot of people liked to trash last season, and that's Ja'Juan Taylor. It's always a good the saying, and it's funny, Trevor. Actually, I just got the news from Noah Groniger from Starcade. Our next guest on Arrowhead Allies is Willie Roaf. I love talking to Willie. I've had some great talks with Willie in person and on the show. But it's true that when you don't hear the offensive line's name, that means they're doing their job. You only hear it when you hear about a false start or a holding penalty or illegal hands to face or an eligible man downfield, whatever the shit is. You only hear their name when it's something bad. You haven't been hearing a lot of Ja'Juan Taylor's name this year. And do you know why that is? Let's go ahead and look at that stat real quick, Trevor. So this is according to the 33rd team on Twitter. OTs with the lowest pressure rates allowed heading into week 4. Would you look at it? Ja'Juan Taylor, 4th. And he's only 4th behind Taylor Moton by 0.1%. He is in the top 5 in the league. He's having a better season than Penei Sewell, Ronnie Stanley,
Jordan Mailata,
Tristan Wirfs. These are all like future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And Ja'Juan Taylor's out here having a just as good, if not a better season. Now, Larry Tunsil, that's fucking insane.
He's
1.6.
That's
best. Stupid.
He's the best.
He's goddamn unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's past Trent Williams now as the best left tackle in football.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, but my point is, I mean, literally, he's 1.3% worse than Laramie Tunsil. That's incredible. So we sit here and we knock him for these false starts and these illegal formations and shit. They were just picking on him.
We try to tell y'all, man, he was going to get better. Like, they got to look past that.
The only negative, Trevor, the only thing I had negative to say about him last year was like, wait, you guys said they paid him as a left tackle, and he's playing right tackle.
And the league was picking on him to start the year because you notice all that shit slowed down as the year went on.
But what did we say, Trevor? When we found out that Ja'Juan Taylor was going to play right tackle, I was excited because I'm like, this dude's a great right tackle.
Granted, he got paid, but
that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
But he is a great right tackle. He's probably top 5 in the league.
The numbers go to show.
The numbers are going to show that in year 2, Ja'Juan Taylor is having one of his best seasons of his career, if not his best season. So for everybody that's clowned Juwan Taylor about all this stuff about him not being the right man for the job just because of some stupid ass penalties. I got some news for you guys. This man is elite at his job, and he deserves a lot of credit, and you deserve something else, and that is why you're going to hold this out. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good times. Juwan Taylor's locking up that right side of the offensive line, man. I absolutely love it. I love that he's under contract for 2 more years.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Trey Smith's about to get paid, hopefully. I'd love for this group of white offensive linemen to stay together, man.
That continuity.
Because Juwan Taylor's only, 25, 26?
Right.
Trey's 24. Creed's 25. Like, Joe Tootie's old, but he's only got probably another year at most. 11. He's still unbelievable.
Guards can play forever, dude.
You, man.
Yeah, especially guys that are like so just robotic like Tooney is.
So
man.
shout out to Juwan Taylor, man. You get your flowers today, and everybody else that says different can S&D, man, because he's actually doing his thing, bro. You guys are haters in the house. So who's not a hater in the house is me, because I appreciate you guys. This has been a fun show. Every single week, it seems like, man, the show flew by. We've been doing over 2 hours and 20 minutes. Show. This has been unbelievable, man. It just flew by. I mean, the show absolutely flew by. We could have gone another couple hours, man. But I know you guys have plans. Trevor's got stuff with the kids to do today. I don't. But, it's going to be fun either way. The point is that we have fun every Saturday, and I love the fact that I get to share this with you guys. I know that's super sappy and stuff, but it's the truth. We look forward to this every single week. I get excited every single week when I wake up on Saturday morning knowing that I get to chop it up and chime it up with you guys, because I know you guys care about the stuff just as much as I do, if not more. And we're going to keep the good times rolling, man. 285 episodes of this has been something that I could not have imagined. We're inching closer and closer to that 300 episode, man. And I am very proud of what we have going on here, from a social media aspect to the show's aspect, from just a person-to-person aspect.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for what you guys do, making this thing what it is, making it great. And you make it so easy for me to host the show, man, because I just basically feed off the energy you guys give me. So thanks again for that. So for Trevor Twidwell, for us, the great Clay Windler, who puts all this together on the back end of things, helps us produce this bad boy, I'm Lance Twidwell. For the entire Starcade Media family, episode 285 of the Spoken Podcast is done, finished, and finito. Until we're back here in 1 week's time, talking about a 4-0 Chiefs. Moving closer to that bye week, moving closer to the postseason. We out of this bitch.
Later.
Have a great weekend.